Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, y'all know I've been kind of watching and trying to get a feel for what's going on in the Middle East right now. So, we're going to sit here and listen to a content creator called Wolves and Finances. I don't know if any of y'all ever heard of this guy. He seems pretty smart. He's covered some of the TPUSA stuff, and we're just going to see what he has to say. I haven't listened to this video yet, but I figured it'd be a good time to do it while we're drinking coffee. Good morning, everybody. What's up, Trixie? Good morning, Rusty. That was a good live you had last night, sir. Big Shot Redneck, what's happening, buddy? Jen, JL, Allie. All right, let's get into this.
Conflict has broken out in the Middle East.
Let me know if y'all can hear this.
This is the Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman, commonly referred to as MBS. For the last 8 years, he's been called a villain by the mainstream media. I'm going to take a closer look at MBS because it is time we expose the truth.
Morning, gotcha.
I realize that anything involving the Middle East is a topic that people get upset about. Before people ask, let me just say that I am not funded by anyone. I'm just an ordinary American with a small YouTube channel. No one pays me to make these videos. I'm completely independent. I do my own research, and I bring you the stories that the mainstream media is lying to you about. And this story is a big one that impacts what is going on right now in the Middle East. Whatever you think about the conflict, we need to start thinking about how we are going to end it. And the US cannot end it without the help of MBS. A lot of people are fixated on Israel, but that is only part of what is going on. A major factor is the conflict between Shia and Sunni Muslims. Iran is primarily Shia, and Saudi Arabia is primarily Sunni. And these two groups have been fighting for hundreds of years. In the last week, Iran has not just attacked Israel, they've attacked Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Kuwait, Jordan, Oman, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. These other Muslim countries are a major factor in this conflict, and MBS is one of the key leaders. Saudi Arabia is a monarchy. Whoever is the king controls the national wealth, including all the oil in Saudi Arabia. MBS has been ranked the 8th most powerful man in the world. His personal wealth is in the billions of dollars.
Pretty good for a man wearing a dress.
People have been told for years that we are supposed to hate MBS.
What's up, Cup Top?
The only world leaders who are more
RJ,
villainized
good
than
morning.
MBS are probably Vladimir
What's
Putin
kicking, Drew?
and Kim Jong-un. Let me show you a recent example of what I'm talking about.
Welcome back. So yesterday, Trump was not happy with a question asked by ABC News reporter Mary Bruce.
Is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist.
As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen, but he knew nothing about it. And we can leave it at that.
But with those criticisms and questions, really, they're not criticism. They're just legitimate questions for somebody in his position to answer.
Because this isn't a debated topic.
Right.
Jamal Khashoggi was dismembered. Like, it wasn't just a murder, it was a violent murder. And the body,
in New York.
yes.
That's what it
And
Yeah,
the,
I think they're talking about, you know what, man? I asked about this guy the other day. I think this is the one that they got in a motel room over there and then never seen him coming out again. A journalist.
Wasn't in New York, but he was a resident of New York.
Yeah, I'm sorry, resident of the US.
He was a U.S. resident.
I worked with both Kathleen Lucy at Bloomberg and Mary Bruce at
It's
ABC.
funny they talk about that
My
dude.
prior life, they're world-class journalists. They are fair. They were asking serious questions.
Yeah.
I get chills watching a female journalist stare at MBS and ask him about ordering the dismemberment of a fellow journalist.
Yeah.
Like that. Those are the kind of tough questions the free press always has to be asking.
In 2018, Jamal Khashoggi was lured to the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, where he was brutally murdered. We've been told for the last 8 years that MBS ordered the murder. We've been told this over and over again, just like what we saw on The View. Most Americans have accepted this story and have been programmed to think of MBS as a really bad guy. I will be honest, I thought that too until I started looking into it. I want you to open your mind for a minute. Just consider that you've been brainwashed for the last 8 years.
Oh, I think
Just
that's
consider
happened
the
to a lot of us.
possibility that the women on The View might have their facts wrong. What if the events in 2018 were actually the opposite of what you've been told? What if Jamal Khashoggi was the villain and MBS is the hero? I know that's a shocking statement because it is completely different than everything you have heard, but just leave open the possibility. Let's go back and look at the facts. Let us start 1 year before the murder in 2017. People believe MBS was secretly staying at the Mandalay Bay Hotel on October 1st, 2017. That was the same day of the Las Vegas mass shooting that killed 60 people and injured hundreds. The shooting was committed by Stephen Paddock, who allegedly committed suicide by firing a revolver into his mouth.
Don't say. Estoy bien, gracias.
I hate these
No
damn
sé.
commercials.
De nada. Are you sound like
Although strangely, the bloodstains in the crime scene photos do not match someone committing suicide. Just to show you how crazy this is, here are the crime scene photos released by the New York Times. This is the dead body. This is the body cam footage of the police of the moment they enter the room. The body should be right here. His foot should be leaning up against the side table. Where is the dead body? Here's a second image from the body cam footage. This pixelated portion is supposedly covering up where the dead body is. But this looks like it is right next to the tile flooring. That is different than what was shown to us by the New York Times. And what is also strange about these official crime scene photos is that this gun looks like it was placed neatly on top of this guy's leg. If the guy fell over after he shot himself, how did the gun end up so neatly on top of him? Now, the police explained that he must have been lunging.
Can you hear it or no? Because I was trying to play it without getting struck, but if not, I'll share. I don't think they do to take us down. Okay, all right.
By the New York Times. And what is also strange about these official crime scene.
Shit, why did it pause it on here though?
So his foot slid under the gun. But this whole thing seems very strange to me. The other strange thing about this shooting, compared with other mass shootings, is there was no motive. Typically, these shooters will have a manifesto or a suicide note. But when the police searched this person's home, they found nothing. He was a real guy in his 60s. He did not have a problematic background.
There's absolutely no way I can even conceive that my brother would shoot a bunch of people he doesn't even know. Steve had nothing to do with any political organization, religious organization, no white supremacist, nothing, as far as I know. I've only known him for 57 years. He didn't hunt. He barely shot his guns ever. He had a couple of handguns that he kept in a safe. He doesn't even have parking tickets. He has no criminal record. He has no record of any affiliations. He has nothing.
Yeah, what
he gambled.
do? Just normal.
Yeah, he was a guy who played video poker. Now, he played at a higher level than you people do probably, but he had a lot more money than you people had. He was a wealthy guy, and he liked to play video poker. He went on cruises. He sent his mother cookies from, big, huge, crazy boxes of cookies and stuff.
The FBI report in 2019 said no single or clear motivating factor was found.
Now, you can sell this $20 yoga mat
with these damn commercials. I'm gonna have to get YouTube Premium.
The attack was not linked to terrorism, hate groups, political or religious ideologies. He was not mad at the hotel or MGM or the concert. There was absolutely
The sound
no
gonna be a
reason
little off,
for
but
this horrible, horrible attack. The more you look into the shooting, the more bizarre it gets.
It was the very first day that people were already alleging that they believed there was helicopters shooting at them. And there's helicopters in the videos. You can see the helicopters in the videos. And the witnesses talk about helicopters having been there in the air. And a lot of them say that they suspect the helicopters were shooting, that they felt like the helicopters were shooting at them. But then when you read the official story, the police reports, no helicopters at all. None of that at all. It's just the lone gunman. And then when you look at the flight radar data from that night, there are a lot of suspicious helicopters that take off and land from and at the two helicopter operators in the airport there.
I'm not going to get into all the details because there is a lot. And that's not the point of this video. But I will just say there were reports of multiple gunshots from machine guns from multiple locations.
And that's what it sounded like too.
MBS was staying
I
in
know
the
y'all
hotel.
remember that shit.
One likely explanation was that this was an assassination attempt on his life. It sounds like there was a full gang-style war going on at that hotel. That would mean that the shooting into the crowd was an attempt to cover up a failed assassination attempt against MBS. To be clear, there is no
Yeah, it
direct
did,
evidence
Rusty.
MBS was
It-
at that hotel. The official Saudi timeline says he was somewhere else. The reason that people believe he was there is because his
And if you
cousin
remember
is
right-
the major owner of that hotel.
And if you remember right, that's when they started trying to outlaw them bump stocks, saying that that's what he used and all. You know, I never would have put none of that together, but I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
If MBS was invited to Las Vegas, the Mandalay Bay Hotel is probably where he would stay. So if you are considering potential powerful heads of state that would be targets of an assassination attempt who would be at that hotel, MBS is at the top of that list. This also sounds suspiciously like something the CIA would be involved in. International intrigue, black helicopters. The motive could be really simple. This could have been a group of people trying to gain control of one of the world's largest oil supplies. They wanted the oil. This could be the CIA joining forces with a Saudi puppet they could put in place of MBS. This was a young prince. He was vulnerable and inexperienced. If you were going to take him out, you would want to take him out then. This attack resulted in the largest mass shooting in the history of America. This all sounds pretty wild until you find out one simple fact. Remember the death of Jamal Khashoggi. He was killed exactly 1 year to the day of the shooting in Las Vegas. That's quite the coincidence, and it makes you wonder if there's a connection between the two. If the CIA wanted to initiate a coup in Saudi Arabia, they would partner with someone like Khashoggi. The media says that he was just an innocent journalist, but he was much more than that. He was strongly opposed to MBS and had deep ties to powerful families in Saudi Arabia. After the Las Vegas shooting, MBS conducted a sweeping anti-corruption purge, arresting hundreds of princes, officials, and billionaires, including his cousin, who was the part owner of the Las Vegas hotel. Even more suspicious, the Las Vegas police captain for the Strip was John Pelletier, who later moved and became the police chief in Hawaii during the Maui wildfires. What are the odds that the same police chief oversaw two of the largest tragedies in American history? It sounds to me like he was a plant by the CIA. This raises a massive question. If the CIA and the Saudi rivals of MBS were trying to kill him, how did MBS escape assassination? Some people think he was tipped off by
That's
President
crazy.
Trump. If we consider that the CIA
That's
was working
fucking wild,
against
man.
Trump and other intelligence agencies like the military were working with Trump, it is possible.
Hey, think about it
Trump
like
uncovered
this. How would they be able to do all the voting shit? Right now, and I've said before, I've never seen somebody get so attacked so publicly as Trump has.
And was able to warn MBS in time for him to escape. That would explain the reaction during Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia on May 20th, 2017, 2 months before the Las Vegas shooting. Trump received and participated in the traditional Saudi sword dance. This is an extremely rare honor. They would not do this for a US president unless there was some major reason. Some people think it is because Donald
Very
Trump
hard
was
to
delivering
overlook.
information that would save the life of MBS. Just remember what happened when Joe Biden visited.
look
Saudi
at just
Arabia.
what happened.
He was greeted by MBS.
Look, we all can agree that Butler, Pennsylvania was a setup. If you don't think it's a setup, then just don't even open your mouth, because there's no fucking way in hell that any elevated position should not be guarded by somebody, right? I mean, we can all agree with that.
With a fist bump. Do you see the difference here? Joe Biden got a fist bump and Donald Trump
And I've said that
received the
before.
sword dance. The contrast between the two is so great. I think there's something bigger going on here, because you cannot explain a contrast this big by saying that MBS respects Donald Trump and he does not respect Joe Biden.
Says his
It has
friend
to
is-
be more than
No,
that.
I don't think they
I think
actually
it
are
makes more
friends.
sense that MBS associates Joe Biden with the CIA forces that tried to kill him, and he credits Trump for saving his life. If that is the reality, then it all makes sense. To be clear, these are all theories and allegations. I cannot prove any of this, and we will probably never
I
know
don't think
exactly
it's
what happened.
population control.
But in my
I
opinion,
think it's a power
I look at
control.
all of these facts, and I think there is more to this story than we are being told in the mainstream media. Let me show you what the media is basing their story on. Here is the article from the Washington Post on November 16th, 2018. It claims that the CIA has concluded that MBS ordered the murder of Khashoggi. They determined this by speaking with contacts that blamed MBS. That's it.
This is Gobble. He's our mill, and he's gonna help save the world.
Shit. These fucking commercials.
Gobble eats everything.
That was their evidence, speaking with anonymous contacts. The article says, the accepted position is that there is no way this happened without him being aware or involved. That seems like incredibly weak evidence for such an explosive claim. Not only that, this was a leak from an anonymous source inside the government. We don't know who this came from. In fact, the CIA
have to look into that,
declined
Jan.
to comment. So the CIA themselves refused to comment on this. Lindsey Graham went on Fox News and said this.
I wouldn't doubt it, though. I really wouldn't doubt it.
And Secretary of State Pompeo have sort of carved out a space where they say, well, looking at the evidence, it's not exactly clear that there was a direct link between MBS and this act.
It's crystal clear. Beyond any doubt, this could not have happened without the Crown Prince knowing about it. We have a ton of intelligence that the people in charge of killing Mr. Khashoggi worked directly for the Crown Prince. His number one.
No, they definitely not.
Orchestrated the move. He's put half his family in jail. He's been a wrecking ball when it comes to the Mideast in general. And I've had enough. And if we don't stop him now, it gets worse later. So I'm not going to support arms sales to somebody this unstable. What makes you believe he wouldn't take an American weapon system and give it to the Chinese? This guy's nuts.
I do not trust a word that man says. The Senate voted on a resolution to impose sanctions on Saudi Arabia over the murder. The bill was proposed by Bob Menendez. This is the same person who would later be sentenced to 11 years in prison for federal corruption charges, including having received gold bars. Why are all the people promoting this so shady? All of this happened while Trump was president, and he remained generally supportive of MBS. When Joe Biden took office in 2021, things changed. Almost immediately, on February 11th, 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence put out an official report that stated, "We assess that MBS approved an operation in Istanbul, Turkey, to capture or kill Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi." I'm going to show you the entire report. This is it. That is the whole report. It is a brief summary and a list of people involved. Where is the evidence? This is a massive allegation. What is it based on? The description says things like this. At the time of the Khashoggi murder, the Crown Prince probably fostered an environment in which aides were afraid that failure to complete assigned tasks might result in him firing or arresting them. What? This is the evidence? Do you realize now what I am saying? We have been hearing over and over again in the news for 8 years that MBS is a villain. And this document is what the reporting is based on. This is unbelievable. There is nothing here. Now, I'm not claiming that MBS is perfect. I really don't know if he's a hero or not. There are certainly things that I could criticize him about. We can criticize Saudi Arabia. There are the potential connections to 9/11. There are some brutal things they have done to their own people. I am not excusing any of that. I am focused on the fact that the US media is lying about something. What are they lying about and why? Because I feel like we should give MBS the benefit of the doubt. Put yourself in his shoes. Let us say that someone did try to assassinate him, and that failed attempt resulted in the largest mass shooting in American history. And let us say you found out that Khashoggi was responsible for this horrible, evil atrocity. Is MBS really the villain in this story? Now, I'm not saying that murder is justified. As an American, I believe that everyone deserves their day in court.
Wolves and
But I don't think
finances.
it changes the story if Khashoggi was somehow involved in the Las Vegas shooting. Let's be really honest here. Every single US president in recent history has murdered people around the globe who they believed were very bad people. Aren't we being a little bit of a hypocrite? George W. Bush ordered 57 drone strikes against enemies of the United States. Obama ordered 563 drone strikes. Obama's drone strikes killed an estimated 384 to 807 civilian deaths. The US is going around the world killing hundreds of innocent civilians. Maybe we should stop pointing fingers at MBS. We don't know what happened either way with Khashoggi. I wish we had more information, but we don't. We really don't know enough to say who is the villain and who is not. But I feel like MBS has really been unfairly treated by the American press. He should be judged on the facts that we know. And if you do a little bit of research, what you find out about MBS is actually really impressive. He is married with 5 children. He says that he eats breakfast with them every day. It appears that he cares a
eats
lot
breakfast
about
with them.
family. He has also made incredible reforms within Saudi Arabia. He made it legal.
Damn commercials. I about had the fucking timing down right too.
To go on dates. Saudi Arabia has historically been a strict religious culture where men and women were restricted to separate spaces in public. Well, now you're allowed to go on a date in public.
Oh, you can
This is
fucking go on a date.
massive step forward. He reduced the power of the religious police force. He stopped public beatings as punishment. He stopped the death penalty for crimes committed by minors. He lifted the ban on women driving. Women can now obtain passports without a male guardian's permission. Women can now start their own business without a male guardian. Women can have child custody in divorce. A woman is even the chairperson of the Saudi Stock Exchange.
Oh,
These are massive advancements.
they should already be
We
had
should be
down.
giving
Fuck are
MBS
you
some
talking
credit
about?
for this. If you look
That's
at
just
similar
basic
countries
shit.
around the world, they're not making advancements this quickly. The quality of people's lives in Saudi Arabia are improving tremendously. This is real improvement for women. Why do the women on The View not mention any of this? Again, I'm not saying MBS has done everything right. But guess what? Neither has the United States. We do some pretty horrible things as well. I just think we should give MBS some credit. It looks to me like he is someone who is trying to
I
do
don't
his
know if
best
it's scared
in a very
to, they
difficult
scared to
part of the
death or if
world.
they just try to control them, bro.
Other question I wanted to ask you is you're a sports fan.
Yes, definitely.
Where were you when Saudi beat Argentina in the World Cup, and what was your reaction?
I was with my family. My brothers, their wives, their kids watching the game. And actually, we just want to get out from this game with no humiliation. We get surprised.
I mean, it fired up people here. I talked to a ton of them, and they were really excited.
Let me give you one more example. MBS actually advocates for a more moderate and friendly version of the Muslim religion, and he speaks out against radicals. For instance, men and women in Saudi Arabia go to school separately. For women, the government banned wearing a abaya during exams. These are the full black robes from head to toe. Instead, women could only wear a hijab that only covers their head and neck. This is a major change by the government to not let the women wear traditional Muslim clothing. It is another step in the right direction.
For people on the outside looking at this, what would you tell them? You know, if they want to come visit, they may be skittish about coming to Saudi Arabia because of what has been written in the past, what they see. What would you tell them?
I will tell them the greatest success story in the 21st century is Saudi Arabia. This is the story of this century. Do you want to miss it or not? That's your call.
Let me repeat that a lot of what happened with Khashoggi is allegations. We do not know the facts. I don't know if Khashoggi was a villain or not. But let me play for you again Donald Trump's comments.
You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it. And we can leave it at that.
I think Donald Trump knows more than he is saying in this interview. I don't know what happened to Khashoggi, but I can tell you this. I do not trust the Washington Post. I do not trust the CIA, and I do not trust Lindsey Graham. Now that we are in conflict again in the Middle East, I think we should be more supportive of MBS because he is going to be critical in ending the conflict. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the mainstream media is lying to us about MBS? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. If you want to support independent journalism like this channel,
I don't trust
consider
nobody.
signing up for a membership on my website, wolvesandfinance.com. For $6 a month, your support helps me to keep making these videos. Thank you to everyone who has signed up. I'm Zach from Wolves and Finance. Thank you for watching.
You still have to take it in, right? Especially when you don't really know. And you just kind of be observant and look and see what people got to say and what makes sense to you. You take in, and what don't. You just kind of look at it sideways and just keep on pushing. No, I have not heard about the tick thing, but I will say this. I'm watching them spray the banks of Florida, right, with weed killer and stuff like that. And to me, people are like, what are they doing? What are they doing? I think, and I hate to say this without really knowing, but I think they're trying to control the population of fish and what people can do to survive. And I know that sounds crazy, but just like with the damn mad deer disease, that Lyme disease, where does this shit come from? They can control everything else. Did some mad scientist fucking shoot some deer up with some shit to get this stuff going? Who knows? But I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them. That's why it's important to grow your own stuff if you're able to. You know, and I've told people before, everybody thinks chickens are the way to go, and they are if you like eggs. But if you're really in it for poundage, rabbits. They breed quick. Yeah, I refuse to use it too, copper top. But they do. They spray our aquatic life, and man, it's fucking our shit up down here. Shit that used to have sandy bottoms has now got this murky mud on it from all this vegetation that's floating to the bottom and just rotting. And it creates these big algae blooms and it kills the fish off. They know what they're doing and they refuse to. Dude, if you really did some research and looked around and seen what's happening, it'd piss you off, especially somebody like me, because I love to fish, right? But dude, they've got islands, and when I say they got islands, I mean it, of floating grass where they've killed it off and the shit's just clogging. It's bad. It is bad. Let's see what they doing over here this morning. Yeah, InfoWars, you're right. You're right. They're doing it with aluminum phosphate out in planes. But when you say stuff like that, people think you're fucking crazy. Look, cancer ain't come from nowhere, man. When I was growing up, you didn't hear nobody having cancer. Only person I knew with cancer when I was growing up was my cousin, and it was some type of, I don't really remember, but I know they said it was a rare disease that she had, but she didn't make it. I was real young. A damn dog's yelping this morning, ain't it? Everybody out in daily business. That's good. Let me see if I can pull up Matt the welder. He covers a lot of that shit. I don't know what this one's about. Hold on.
Like, what in the actual is he spraying? Please tell me what he's spraying. Well done, Florida. Well done. In the Everglades.
Whatever this guy's spraying is clearly dead. It's the dry season. We haven't had rain in a while, but that doesn't stop them from dumping their herbicide on the sides of this canal. Check out this guy. He's got his gloves on and his face covered. So whatever he's spraying must not be great for his health. But they're still dumping it in a canal that is dead. There's no weeds in it at all. Spraying it right into the water and on the sides of the canal. Our freshwater anglers are saying when they spray these lakes with herbicide, it's causing the vegetation to float, come to shore. Some of it stays out there and makes man-made islands, while the rest of it sinks to the bottom of the lake, ruins the sandy bottom, and turns it into a black muck.
2 weeks ago, they came out here and sprayed. Now you got all this dead grass popping up, floating away, causing more of a nuisance. Look at all the stuff that they done killed. I mean, the water's turning to mud.
Look at this massive FWC mud floater.
That's Florida
They just
Wildlife
sprayed all this
Commission.
stuff and it floats right back to the top.
They come through here and spray the whole shoreline. And all this eelgrass is in here is gone. Look. Look. The mud bottom.
State agencies are backing up the anglers' claims. Look at this management plan for Lake Trafford. It said the lake was once a sandy bottom, but because of persistent herbicide use, all of that stuff has sunk down to the bottom and has released nutrients which cause harmful algae blooms and kills the fisheries. Our anglers have been documenting persistent
next
herbicide
time
use
one of them
across the
blooms
state and
come
sending me
here,
the
I'll post it just to show y'all how bad it is. It is fucking crazy, man.
videos.
12/11/25, Harney Pond boat ramp. 12/18/25, Harney Pond boat ramp. 12/22, Harney Pond boat ramp. 12/23/25, your daily report. 1/5/2026, 2/25/26.
The fishermen who make their living out on the lakes have noticed the herbicides don't appear to be working. The target plant still lives even after persistent herbicide treatments.
They sprayed the top of the water, but you reach down on the bottom, it ain't affecting that bottom stuff too much.
I was able to find this information about aquatic plant resistance to herbicides on the University of Florida Institute for Food and Agriculture Services website. This article from the University of Florida says hydrilla has become resistant to floridone, and a species of duckweed has become resistant to diquat. They have sprayed our waterways so often that weed resistance to aquatic herbicides is an emerging issue, according to the University of Florida. We're going to be unregistering a lot of these aquatic herbicides in the state of Florida. Some of them aren't even working anymore. This isn't an empty promise. This is going to be priority number one when I become Florida's next agriculture commissioner. I'm running for ag commissioner in 2026. Visit treadback.com to see how you.
Hey, and you know how they stopped this dude? Because he changed his name to Matt the Welder, because that's how everybody knew him on social media. They fucking changed the law saying anybody that's changed their name within a year can't run. Now you tell me that's some bullshit. Good morning, Deb.
So
Yeah, I
you can
knew
help
you'd
us
like
save
that.
Florida. I'm Matt the Welder. God bless America. I really miss Norm McDonald.
Like, what in the actual is he?
Yeah. Good morning, Jack Rabbit. If you look around, you can see what they're doing, man. They're trying to control the man. Remember what I said? They don't have to fire a shot at you. All they got to do is fuck with your stomach. They can make you do whatever you want. They want you to. You don't think so? Go a week without eating and see what you do. You don't have to do shit. You'll do it yourself. You want to know what else is fucking funny? I found out last night. I'll never eat a fucking hot dog again. You understand me? When I tell you I won't never eat a hot dog again, nah. They got traces of human DNA in hot dogs. They're saying it's from accidents at work, but I don't give a fuck. You mean to tell me a man gonna cut his finger off and send it through the hot dog machine and you're okay with it? You got me fucked up. Keep them goddamn hot dogs. And you know what's sad? Is Unc loves sausages and the shit's in that too. Son of a bitches. Fucking with my food. Hell no. The only way I'll eat that shit now is if it's somebody I know that makes it at home. Like deer sausage or something. In other news, Deb went a whole hour without smoking dick. Oh, shit. Good morning, people. I don't know. I just woke up in one of them fucking moods this morning. I'm sure y'all have had them. Oh, man. Let's see what they saying about. This is some funny shit. I know y'all probably don't give a fuck. We'll watch it anyway just because it's funny. Whoever makes these videos are fucking brilliant.
Okay, you are clear to move.
Hello. This is President Trump speaking.
Trump?
Yes.
It's me, Khamenei.
Ali. My favorite dictator. How are we doing today? Still alive, I see. Barely from what I'm hearing. Very weak pulse on your whole operation over there.
Trump, you dog.
You American.
Death to America. Death to America. Death to America.
Yeah. Death to America. You've been saying that since disco was popular, Ali. And America's still here, bigger, better, stronger than ever before. Meanwhile, your country looks like a screensaver from 1997. Very outdated. Nobody's impressed.
You think you are funny? I have your senator, Kennedy. He is my prisoner. He is here in my bunker, eating cold rice, and he will not be returned. I will make sure of that.
Ali, let's talk about that, because I've been very patient, and I'm not a patient person. Everybody knows that. But you took my guy, Senator John Kennedy, a great man, tremendous man. From Louisiana, they make incredible food down there, by the way. And you've got him eating cold rice? That's a war crime, Ali. Not the kidnapping the rice. Serve the man some gumbo. Show some class.
He is an enemy of Islamic Republic. He will stay here forever unless you meet my demands.
Your demands? Okay, let's hear them. This should be very entertaining.
Well, I demand you lift all sanctions. I demand $1 trillion. And I demand you say on live television that Iran is better than America.
Ali, I wouldn't say Iran is better than America if you put a gun to my head, which, by the way, you've tried multiple times, and you missed every single time. Every time your assassins couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. Meanwhile, I only need to try once, and I don't miss. Very important distinction, probably the most important distinction in this whole conversation.
You dare threaten me? I have the Revolutionary Guard. I have missiles.
You have missiles that land in your own backyard, Ali. I've seen the footage. The whole world's seen the footage. One of your rockets did a U-turn last month. A U-turn, like it changed its mind. Even your weapons don't want to work for you. Very telling.
Haha, I want you to speak to your senator. See how scared he is. See how powerful Iran is. That poor little fisherman.
Mr. President, that's you.
John, how you doing, buddy? You okay?
Well, sir, I've been better. They've got me tied to a folding chair in what I believe is a storage closet. There's a calendar on the wall from 2006 and a poster of Khomeini that looks like it was printed on a home computer. I'll be honest, I've seen nicer setups at a Louisiana DMV, and that's saying something.
That's terrible, John. Very bad accommodations. I'm going to leave a 1-star review on their whole country.
Sir, they keep playing this recording of Death to America on a loop, and quite frankly, it's less intimidating than a rooster with a sore throat. But I'd appreciate an extraction at your earliest convenience.
John, I'm coming to get you personally. Your favorite president doesn't leave people behind. Not senators, not anybody. I'm very loyal. Everybody knows that.
You see, he is mine. You will meet my demands or else.
Ali, stop. I'll tell you what, I won't come over there. I won't take you out. I'll leave you alone. Totally, 100%. On one condition.
Oh, okay. What is this condition?
You subscribe to the Baby News Network.
The Baby News, what?
Subscribe, hit the bell, turn on notifications. Very simple. A child could do it. And based on your military strategy, I'm pretty sure a child is running things over there, so it should be very easy.
Okay. Yes, fine. Anything. I will subscribe. I am subscribed, okay? I hit the bell.
Beautiful. Tremendous. Best subscriber we've ever had, probably. Anyway, I'll be there in 30 minutes.
Wait, what? You said you would not come if
I lied. Very effective negotiation technique. The best, actually. You should read my book. Ali, you still there?
Yes. Yes, what is it?
That's my official response to Death to America. Goodbye, Ali.
Fellas, I've been sitting here for 3 days, and I got to tell you, your hospitality is somewhere between a bus station and a haunted house. The rice is cold, the chair's got a wobbly leg, and that poster of your boss up there looks like it was taken at a Sears portrait studio in 1985. I've seen scarier things at a crawfish boil. Now, I know Mr. President is coming for me, and when he gets here, it's going to be like a gator at a pool party. Y'all ain't ready. I'd start updating your resumes if I were you. Maybe learn a trade. Plumbing's good, honest work.
Hello, Pete.
Mr. President, the jet is fueled, armed, and ready. Operation Epic Fury is a go. We've got satellite imagery of the bunker, and by the way, Kennedy's being held in sublevel 2.
Beautiful. Pete, you're doing an incredible job, by the way. Best Secretary of War we've ever had, probably in history.
Secretary of Defense, sir.
No, Pete, I changed the name. It's war now. Defense sounds like we're waiting for something to happen. We're not waiting, Pete. We're arriving. Very aggressively, actually.
Sir, standard protocol is a full squadron escort with a...
I don't need a squadron, Pete. I am the squadron. One jet, one president, one mission. The ratings on this are going to be incredible. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, believe me. Pete, I'm on the ground, going dark. I look very Iranian right now, very convincing. Probably the best disguise in military history.
Sir, please be careful. And maybe don't talk too much.
Copy that.
Stop! Who are you?
I am General Habibi. Yes, General Habibi. Very important, very high rank. I was sent by Commander Ahmadi Zadehpour, very long name, very powerful guy. He said to move the American prisoner to a different location. New orders, by the way, came in just now. Very urgent, actually.
What do you mean? We did not receive any orders.
Of course not. They're classified, top secret. Only generals know. And I'm a general, as I just mentioned, General Habibi. You can look it up probably.
Habibi.
After you.
Mr. President, sir, is it you under that beard?
John, stay calm. I'm getting you out. Very smooth operation. Nobody suspects a thing.
Well, what do we have here?
Hi, I'm General Habibi.
Oh, yeah? Okay, General Habibi. Just one question.
Of course, anything.
What brigade are you from?
The best one. Tremendous brigade. Bigger, better, stronger than ever before. We're winners over there. The other brigades, not so much.
Wait, no one talks like that here. You are an imposter.
Yeah, you're right. That's because I'm the President of the United States. And we're leaving. John, run.
Mr. President, I haven't run this fast since a gator got loose at my cousin's wedding.
Less talking, more running, John. Very important. See that? Keys in the ignition. Very low security, extremely low IQ operation they're running here.
What?
Sure, I owe you one, possibly two.
You owe me nothing, John. Actually, let's go alligator hunting someday.
He got his diet coke on.
Someone once bought a pizza
Oh,
with
shit.
Bitcoin. That pizza,
That shit always cracks me up when I see that shit. You know, I don't really know what's going on with the country. All I know is I want 1980 back. Yeah, they do good shit over there for sure. Whoever puts the time into doing that, it's very creative. They pretty fucking funny. Damn, Beirut getting fucked up over there. Let's see what else we can dig up here this morning. That place looks like a fucking shithole anyway, to be honest with you. And for them to be so poor, how in the fuck they build all them buildings? Though? I mean, I know how they built them, but where in the fuck did the money come from? I thought they was some kind of poor nation and shit living in tents on the fucking desert. Let's be honest, buildings ain't cheap. You know what I mean? What's up, Captain America? So somebody saying the U.S. Department of State has instructed consulate personnel in India and their families to leave the city, citing security risks. Somebody saying that Trump's gonna make an oh shit, my bad, y'all ain't got no sound of this shit. Let me redo it. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because I was wondering, I was like, how in the fuck they get all that shit over there? You know, because it looked like Atlanta to me. You know what I'm saying? Beirut looks like the ghetto of Atlanta. Fucking Tel Aviv and shit look like downtown Atlanta. Let's see what we can find. They must be going to do some kind of big airstrikes today. But why in the fuck would they tell people? Why wouldn't they just do it? I don't get that, man. What's up, buddy? The music would have been banned. Let's see what Trump got. Let's see what Trump talking about. I haven't watched this yet either.
Amazing. We have amazing weaponry.
The United States.
I started to watch it. No, I didn't.
The military and rebuilt it and made it really strong. And my first administration, along with a lot of other things we did, we had a great first term.
He sounds sick.
And now we're using it. Unfortunately, we have to. But you're seeing how great it is. There's no military like it on earth, not even close. And we're doing very well in Iran. You see the result, and it's been amazing. We've knocked out 42 Navy ships, some of them very large, in 3 days. That was the end of the Navy. We knocked out their Air Force. We knocked out their communications, and all telecommunications is gone. I don't know how they communicate, but I guess they will figure something out. It's not working out well. And they're bad people. They're just bad people. When you look at October 7th and beyond October 7th, look at all the killing that they've done over the years, for 47 years. And this had to be done. They were very close to a nuclear weapon. They would have had one if we didn't do our B-2 hit, Midnight Hammer. They would have had it 8 months ago. They would have had a nuclear weapon. And
it's looking drained,
crazy, and they would have used it. So we did the world a favor. And they said, well, how are you doing on a scale of 0 to 10? How are you doing with the attack? And I said, about a 15, I would say. With 10 being the best. But it's something that had to be done, and we're doing it well.
I don't like that dude, man.
And I want to thank everybody involved.
That dude gives me the fucking creeps. He really does. Bibi gives me the fucking creeps. I don't know what it is about that dude, but when I look at him, it just don't sit right.
I'll be going right after this. I'll be leaving for Dover. Very sad situation. To greet the families of the heroes coming home from Iran, coming home in a different manner than they thought they'd be coming home. But they're great heroes in our country, and we're going to keep it that way. There's always, when it comes to war, there's always that. But we're going to keep it to a minimum.
He sounds tired, don't he, man?
And going to be something, a service that we're really providing, not for the Middle East, but for the world. These were sick people, very sick people. This morning, I'm honored to welcome distinguished heads of state from across the Western Hemisphere.
I got something running in the background. I can't find it.
For the first Shield of the Americas Summit. And it's something very, very special. Marco's been working on it very hard, so have a lot of other people, because it's a very important place for us. It's nice to be home. It's very, very important. You know, we go all over the world, 9,000 miles away, 12,000 miles away. I said, how long is this flight? Sir, this flight is 19 hours. I said, oh, that's great. I said, now I have flights that last for 2 hours. I like that better. Much better. But on this historic day, we come together to announce a brand new military coalition to eradicate the criminal cartels plaguing our region. and you have a lot of it. One of the things when we were talking backstage, you were telling me the crime, the cartels, and we're knocking the hell out of them where we can. We're going to go heavier. You saw what we were doing with the boats coming in. The boats,
Yeah,
there's not a lot
something's
of people
definitely
coming in by
bothering me.
boats anymore. We knocked down drugs coming in by sea. Drugs coming in through water is down 96%.
New
We're trying to
business
find out
plan,
who the other
huh?
4% are, because I think they're the bravest people in the world. Either that or they don't watch television, right? They're either very brave or they're not watching. But we're calling this military partnership the America's Counter Cartel Coalition. And that's what you need. You have cartels. They seem to grow in this region unbelievably rapidly. Has to do with drugs largely. Earlier this week here in Miami, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who's right here. Pete, you're fantastic, doing a great job. We're proud of you. And representatives of 17 different nations formally entered this new alliance. The heart of our agreement is a
I know he
commitment
don't.
to
And
using
me and the wife was talking
lethal
about that.
military force to destroy the sinister
Not
cartel.
last night, night before. We was laying out there on the trampoline under the stars, and some planes went by. I said, "Wouldn't it be shit if that was Trump?" Because they was fucking moving. And she said, "That ain't Trump." I said, "Shit, that old man's always up and fucking moving. There ain't no telling where that some bitch is at right now or what the fuck he's doing. To be 80 years old, he got a lot of fucking grit."
Cartels and terrorist networks, once and for all. We'll get rid of them. We need your help. You have to just tell us where they are. We have amazing weaponry, as you probably noticed over the last short period of time.
What's up, Asmi?
But I want to thank members of the coalition.
I was
Most of whom
watching
are friends of mine.
little bit of y'all shit.
Few of them are just
Fucking Martin's stupid, ain't he, man? He is a fucking idiot. You think he talked that broad into sitting on the handlebars of his bike? You should have asked him, Martin, who picked her up, or did she drive over there?
met, but most of whom are friends, many of whom I endorsed. And they took that endorsement and they went on to win big. I haven't had a bad endorsement yet, right? Yeah. He says, yes. He was happy. He was a couple of points down and went up like a rocket ship, right, in Argentina. But the president of Argentina is here, Javier Milei. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. President of El Salvador, another friend, Naib.
So I was watching some other stuff. They talking about fucking ground troops. Now, I knew that they wasn't going to be able to do this over there without sending men in. They just ain't wanting to announce it to everybody. But they fixing to send fucking ground troops in. I appreciate defending my rights.
Bukele,
Iran.
You know,
I have when my freedoms run off.
he is a man who we've gotten very close to. I
Yeah,
saw him
no
as a young
shit.
man my first time. You were young.
Bro, I had to agree with you. I didn't understand why they fucking attacked Iran anyway. They was trying to say that because they was close to having nuclear weapons. I say bullshit. If they had anything like that, they'd have been shotting the motherfuckers off. And then it went from they had them to they almost had them. And I'm like, hold the fuck on, man. These people are so crazy that they'll kill everybody around them. If they fucking had that shit, they've been shot it off.
And handsome. Now you're older.
What you
and
think
handsome.
about that school
You're
shit? You
older and
think that
handsome.
was us, Rusty?
But he runs a good operation.
I
That's
do.
all I care about.
I think
right?
it was accidental. It
When I
was
first
us.
saw him, I said, he's too young. And then I saw the job he did. I said, well, I guess he's not too young, because I was young and did well. But you've been a great president, and we appreciate the relationship very much. President of Paraguay, Santiago Peña, thank you very much. Thank you very much. President of Ecuador, Danielle Noboa. Danielle, thank you. Thank you, Danielle. President of
They.
Panama. I love that canal. Jose.
Right info
I
warrior.
think he made the greatest deal in history. He bought it for $1. One of our brilliant presidents. I can't sleep over that deal. They gave it to him for $1. Jose Raul Molino was, you know, you made one of the greatest real estate deals in history. Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I don't believe it, dude.
One of our great
I
presidents.
do not fucking believe it.
President of Honduras.
I think it was
Tito
just a reason
Asfora.
behind it.
Thank you, Tito. Thank you very much. Great to see you the other day. President of Guyana.
If I'm being honest, I think that the reason that he attacked Iran was for like Bibi, for Israel and Saudi and all them, just to secure his connection with them, because he wants to build over there so fucking bad. And he knows that if he does the right moves and shit, they're going to let him get away. Donald wants his family tied in with them for generational wealth, in my opinion, which I know they're going to be wealthy, right? But when you start seeing that they got plans building fucking hotels and shit on the West Bank.
Anna, Irfan Ali. Thank you.
Yeah.
President of
Yeah, I
Bolivia,
did.
Rodrigo.
But he
Paz.
only knows what he's told down south, which I get what he's saying, you know.
Thank you very much.
That's the fucking
Great
fact,
people.
Rusty. That's the fact.
Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And I have to be very careful with this because, you know, your first name is very similar to a first name that we have, but fortunately it's pronounced different. It's Kamala, as opposed to Kamala. I like Kamala better in many ways. And I just want to say thank you very much, but I had to be careful with that first name. I didn't want to get it mixed up because it would ruin your reputation completely. Right? I said, is this the same pronunciation? No, sir, it's a little different. It's Cam, right? Cam, as opposed to Cam. We don't like Cam. President of Costa Rica, Rodrigo Chavez, as well as the president-elect of Costa Rica, Laura Fernandez Delgado. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And the president.
I know
of the
y'all seen where they're
Dominican
having all
Republic.
these fucking bomb scares and shit. Like I said something yesterday. They had derated a flight from Nashville to Fort Lauderdale over some type of scare. And then it turned out it was just, I guess they was kicking an unruly passenger off. That ain't what come across the news.
Luis Abinader, and so many of my friends are in the Dominican, including the Sugar King, right? He is indeed the Sugar King.
Rusty
I like
knows.
sugar. I don't know if
Rusty's
that's good or bad, but he's
sarcastic.
got a lot of it.
That's
right?
what makes Rusty Rusty.
But
You
we're
can't
grateful
take,
to be joined as
you
well
can't
by
take
the
everything he's so serious.
president-elect of Chile.
I mean, you should listen to what he
Jose
says. but
Cast. Congratulations.
Rusty just
It's
being
an
Rusty.
endorsement. Gave you a little endorsement. I love when I give endorsements and
Yeah.
people win.
Yeah, Copper Top. I've noticed
But you
that
know what?
too.
They don't lose. You know, I don't know. I guess it would be illegal. Could you
To
imagine
get
if
him
I
to
could
do
say they
something,
spend
you just
millions
tell
and
him he
millions
can't.
and millions of dollars on a campaign? They're losing. And they
I think
beg me
Alex,
for an endorsement. I give them an endorsement. They win by 30 points. And I
think
get
Alex
nothing.
Jones was
If I
one
could
of
sell that,
them,
is there a
like,
way? Do we have any of our
talking
legal people here? A little Marco's close enough. Is there a way I could get paid for that, Marco? I'd make a lot. They spend millions of dollars. And I give it for nothing. I could, even if I put it into the treasury of the United States, it would be pretty good, right, Marco? But Marco's saying that's not a good idea. No, but it's an honor to do it. It's an honor to have that power where I can endorse somebody. And even in foreign countries, here it was we had one in this week, 124-0 with endorsements. And so that's good. But now I'm doing foreign countries all of a sudden. Saying, sir, would
I
you
seen
endorse
him
me?
wearing that
And it's an honor. If I like
that
you,
little
I only
fucking
do it if I
hat.
think you're good. You
I
know, if I
seen
think
Trump
you're not
wearing
good,
it.
I've
I was
turned
like,
down
what the fuck?
many more than
He's
I've
Jewish.
accepted, believe me. I want to thank Secretary of State Marco Rubio for his leadership in organizing this really important summit. He's fantastic. He's a fantastic
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Secretary of
some of him
State.
today too, Bulldog.
And thus far, look, we've had the most incredible year of any president, I think, by, you know, I ended 8 wars. We're not going to go into it too much today, but what we've done is incredible. And we're going to be doing some incredible things together because I look at our region, if I can call it that, as being very important. It's been abandoned by the United States
You know what
for so
scares
many
me?
years. You know,
I'm
they
gonna be
went so
honest.
far.
What scares me is I'm seeing all these like little tidbits of information coming out about how Russia is helping Iran. And man, last thing I want is fucking World War III. And we're skirting on the fucking outskirts of it right now.
Far away. They went to these faraway places where they weren't even wanted. And a lot of stupid people, really stupid people. But Marco's going to go down, I think, as the best Secretary of State in history. That's my opinion. Now, I'm a little prejudiced because I like him too. But I think he's on his way.
The Wailing Wall.
You've done 25%. You got 75%. He's got 3 years left. So he's got 25% under your belt. So far, you're leading. You're very leading by just about a smidge over a couple of pretty great ones. We've had a couple of pretty great ones, right? But I think he's going to do that. And I think Pete's right there, too. If Pete keeps going, he's going to be something,
Okay,
too.
let me find something.
At what he does. All of the nations in this room share the same priorities: security, prosperity, free commerce, and the rule of law. And you want the rule of law. Sometimes your communities don't let you have it because you got some rough.
What was that dude's last name?
That's why together we're also forming the Shield of Americas, a new organization to advance these shared priorities in our hemisphere. And we're pleased to be joined as well by Secretary.
Let's see what the fuck you're doing.
I'm not trying to be dramatic. It is an invasion, and this is what they say. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion, and that's what's currently happening.
We're in America. We're with Alex Stein.
The people on the plate, and I'm with Sharia law's #1 public enemy all the way from the UK, trying to fix this state, because honestly, I'm not trying to be, dramatic, but Sharia law, they're trying to outlaw bacon, they're trying to outlaw dogs. It's ridiculous, and we don't want America, and especially Texas, to become the UK.
True point. I can't believe what I found in Texas. I went to Epic City earlier, and I met an American girl and her husband. So I've said I've met journalists, I've met influencers. I met a lady and her partner whose grandmother lived in Plato. Is it Plato?
Yeah, Plano.
Her mum lived in Plato. She's had to flee and leave. She was crying her eyes out.
No, literally, I'm telling you guys, Plano was where all the Dallas Cowboys used to live. It was the whitest place in America at one point, and now it's the brownest, and it's happened in less than 20 years. So it's not like some sort of, I'm not trying, like I said earlier, I'm not trying to be dramatic. It is an invasion, and this is what they say. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion, and that's what's currently happening.
Alex, can we hook up and do something together? What I mean?
Are you kidding? We're about to go call out all of these Sharia law freaks, all these people that can't eat bacon. They're a bunch of freaking scumbags, and some of them are okay, but if you're trying to take my dog, you're trying to take my way of life and change it, you're trying to make the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders wear hijabs. I'm not okay with that. That's not going to happen under me or Tommy's watch. So, listen, you better back up before you get effed up. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm looking forward to this. You'll be seeing us together, yeah?
This is the legend here.
Facing 10 years. For what?
Did your teenager develop depression, anxiety?
Fucking, let me get back.
I'm not trying to be dramatic. It is an invasion, and this is what they say. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion, and that.
Well, he can't be locked up. He just posted that a day ago.
Watch him from behind, bruv. Well, you're following me. I'm just going to hold this, bruv. I'll just spark him. Mate, I'm telling you, stop fucking following us, bruv. Stop following us, bruv. Stop following us, bruv. Stop following us. You fucking what? Go on then. You what, bruv? You what, bruv? Make me move. So we're going to, this is a major train station in the city of Paris. Are you telling me there's going to be men selling drugs here?
Yes, a lot of problems of drugs.
Okay.
Deal and drugs. It's a lot of African migrants and it's cigarettes deal. And the policemen see that.
Because we
And
see them earlier. We see so many this morning. There were groups of Algerian men, large groups.
Yes.
Would they be in the station?
Yes,
Inside?
inside, and all people know that, but nobody.
No one does anything?
No, nothing.
Okay. Let's go have a look. Because this is like St Pancras Station. We're at the equivalent of the major hub train station
Yes.
in Paris. What are they selling? Cigarettes, arcade, cigarettes, look.
It's some cigarettes.
Yeah. Why are they selling cigarettes? Are they fake cigarettes?
No, it's not false.
So is there lots of tax on cigarettes in the shops? They're all just selling groups.
And you know, here you have got all African people. You
look.
see that it's some dealers.
And there's the police, look. So there's the police. See the police? So there's the police, literally just there. As we walk past, these men are all just loitering, selling things. There's 4 police officers there. And
I've got some policemen here, but they make nothing.
so all these men standing along
I
here.
don't know if I think it's not policemen. I think it's the security of the train station because
okay.
now it's since
Private.
it seems a little time we have got some security.
You speak English?
You speak French.
Faire la traduction.
Oui, vas-y.
Where are you from?
Which
country?
Hein?
Originally.
Quel pays?
Which country?
Quoi?
What country are you from?
C'est quoi, from?
Tu viens d'où?
Moi, je viens de... Je sais même pas d'où je viens. Je crois que
Algérien?
c'est un alien.
T'es un alien?
Non, je rigole. Ah, mais ça passe sur quoi, là?
C'est sur YouTube.
Montre.
C'est YouTube.
Ah, c'est YouTube?
Yeah.
Vas-y. Bonne soirée, YouTube. Ça va, quoi?
Is that where you're from?
Moi, je suis là, ma gueule.
You said the one with Roseanne? Let's see. I ain't too good with typing on this thing.
Beautiful light done right.
I don't know where all the
because
fucking
right
letters
shade
are on here.
changes everything. These days, work moves fast.
Typing was
where
not
Grammarly comes in.
in school.
With an AI chat
What's
that
up,
helps
kid?
take you from
Greetings, Earthlings, and humans, and all other life forms that are.
Yeah, that's what I
scattered
said the
here
other
on
day.
this nondescript.
And they're trying to bring that shit here where you can't even talk about this type of stuff. And it's like, what the
Planet,
fuck? But they can push
whatever it
whatever
is.
they want to on you.
All life forms. What do we say, Jake? Clones, Anunnaki.
Democrats.
Yeah.
Well, no, we said life form.
Well, yeah, they're the lowest intelligent form of life. Anunnaki. What else do we say?
What is it? No, Ashkenaz.
The Gibborim. Oh, I can't even remember. People with no souls, holograms, what have you. Most of all, I'd like to welcome animals, the zenith of intellectual life on this planet, because animals, unlike the country with people from way different cultures that are
Yeah,
never
that's
going to
what scares
assimilate and
me.
have no interest in assimilating, right? That's how you saw.
I saw Islam. And remember, because Luton's a diverse town, one of the most diverse towns in Europe. Most of my mates are sons of immigrants, but I saw what works and what doesn't work. And we have Sikhs, we have Jews. Well, we don't have Jews anymore in Luton. They've all fled.
Yeah.
But we had Hindus. We have Christian migration from St. Lucia, from Jamaica. And not per se, there were obviously some problems, but per se, they integrated and assimilated. And then you had Islam. And then you had a total new ball game. And I'm not sure Americans are aware of what you've done.
Well, Americans are so not aware, but that's what I think. Like,
get ready.
You know what they call your framing of that whole thing racist, right?
Well, you can't. They give a special protection to Islam. If you want to talk, if I come out and I started criticizing Christianity, no one would call me a racist.
Right.
I talked about Islam, and straight away, that remember, these words were used as a weapon, and they were used as a weapon to scare people into silence, cancel culture, fear of being
labeled an Islamophobe, a racist, an extremist. They managed to paralyze an entire nation of some of the fiercest men in the planet into submission and
Yes, they
silence.
did.
And they were successful in doing that.
Yeah, they were.
And the bubbles burst on that now. The bubbles burst. And America, like, when I hear Americans moan about Hispanic immigration and Mexican immigration, I used to sit and think, God, you have no idea, really, if I'm honest. And your borders have been opened now, and it's been orchestrated and it's been organized. Joe Biden, the Democrat Party, have attempted to replace you. Somalians from the hottest place in the planet have come to one of the coldest places in America. Do you think they chose that place, or do you think they were put there? And when you understand the growth of the
I
Islamic
never have
community-
Well, that's why I
understood
wanna
right? Because
talk
I know
to
a lot of
you.
black
I
people
want
that
talk to
fucking hate the cold. And you go to Minnesota, one of the coldest places in fucking America.
Yeah.
It's not about Muslims. It's about our government leaders who want to destroy us, destroy our communities, destroy our families, destroy our
Culture.
our safety net that we pay into with our taxes, to rape our daughters, to rape our kids. It's the leaders. It's not really, it is Islam in that way, but our leaders did that. They brought the people there who think
Somebody fucking
you
paid
can
for it.
get away with rape and it's no big deal. They do. They imported that culture of rape.
Yeah,
And they knew that, you know, when people came to the police to report it, and the police were advised not to believe them. I mean, you saw how weaponized it all was against the daughters of humanity, didn't you?
They knew exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
Our leaders know exactly what they're doing. In the famous words of Charlie Kirk, then Islam will be used as the sword. So the left will use Islam. And if you look, just to explain what mass immigration and Islamic immigration has done to the UK, it's broke down our communities. It's broke down our sense of identity. It's weakened it. There's been a total attack against Christianity, against the church, against men, against values, against culture. But Islam's used as a weapon against that. Now, your borders have been opened in the same way. So you have a community. We're in Texas now. I've just gone to Plano, and I went and interviewed a Texan couple who grandmother lived in Plano, mother lived in Plano, she lived in Plano. She's been harassed, targeted by the new Muslim migrants who have come in. She broke down in tears whilst I was talking to her, and she made the decision to leave, and she fled. Now, this is what's happening in the UK. They call it white flight. It's a non-Muslim flight. So then people begin to move. So then you leave that community that you knew, where you knew every family, and you move to different communities. And that breaks down your community. And that breaks down your community spirit, your resistance, your organisation. And in the UK, we organise ourselves through British pubs. It's the beating heart of British culture, of English culture, is the pub. And it's where men come together and families come together, communities come together. It's the church or it's the pub. Well, they broke the church already.
Yeah,
now
they did.
Now they've gone for the church. Now they've gone for the pub. So pubs are closing, 2,000 more this year.
That was COVID, right, to close the pubs.
But it's all organised.
I know it is.
They don't want you, but they don't want you having.
Well,
a
they don't
sense-
want no men. I know that.
They don't want you having somewhere to gather, somewhere to organise. They don't. We formed an organisation out of my town in 2009.
And that's the
called
whole
English
deal about
Defence
trying
League,
to
and
shut
we
the shit
formed
down
in
on the
pubs.
fucking
And
internet.
they're all gone
They
now.
don't want people
So
to
when
organize.
you get men
Watch and
together
see what I'm
who can
saying.
discuss
This year's going to be
politics,
the year
discuss
that they
what
pass
they're angry
much
about,
laws where you
discuss
ain't allowed to
betrayal
talk
of
about
government,
this shit.
then they can get organised. So there's been an attack at every level. Islam is the weapon that they're using.
Listen, where do we gather now? We used to gather at the fucking boat ramps. We used to gather at fish fries. We used to have barbecues and shit. People would come around. You don't see that anymore. You don't see the families getting together anymore. Christmas and shit, but that's not the same. I mean, you know, every weekend we used to go and meet up with everybody. What the fuck happened to that? Just because you get older don't mean that you don't fucking, you know, associate with people anymore.
Once Islam
Drugs.
comes in, and that's why
People
America,
getting on
you
drugs.
talked about rapes. I watched in my town as Islam grew, as our culture disappeared. I watched as the government would surrender to them, the police would surrender to
Quit
them.
fucking with
The
people
inability
because
to
they
deal
were-
with any problems
people
coming
started
from that
getting
community.
all strung
it's
out.
It's just like now
Yeah.
you've had a little taste of it with the fraud in
I got
Minnesota.
a buddy of mine that grew up
because you've
with right
seen
now.
how the
I mean, fraud
And,
in
when
Minnesota.
I say grew up with him, I mean it was my best friend. We fucking hung out every day. I went to prison. He got strung out on drugs. When I come home, he was still strung out. So I didn't have nothing to do with him. And right now he's on the internet. He's confessing that he's clean and shit. And he's mad at everybody for thinking that he was a junkie. It's like, motherfucker, you went 15 goddamn years shooting up and fucking doing fentanyl. People are not going to look at you the same right away. You got to prove yourself.
It's like a really
understatement.
fucking, yeah, billions.
Veracity, pronounced veracity. All right, can we talk about GLP-1s for a second?
Yeah, I heard about
because suddenly
they did that
everyone I
over
know
here
is
too.
on them. My group
Bulldog.
chat, TikTok, podcast, probably my mailman too. And listen, I was this close to trying them until I remembered two things. I don't love needles, and I'm always going to try the natural option.
Can do with the local government. Now,
what fraud
What
they
fraud?
can do. And then
can
if the people don't want to, I'm talking about the decent people, women who don't want to vote for rape, they come and bang down that door and punish those women, don't they? And their children. It's like, no, you will vote Democrat.
They'll vote how they're told. Yeah, and they're told how to vote, and they do. And you've just had a vote, a 95% vote yesterday on outlawing Sharia in Texas. Now,
I was so on that. I've been on that.
we've got,
But it didn't matter.
well, it doesn't matter unless it comes at a national level,
Right.
a government level,
Yeah.
the whole country, because you can deal with a problem here, or you can stop one mosque and another 50 pull up.
Yeah.
The fact you've got 330 mosques now in Texas. Now, if they take Texas, they're taking the heart.
It's hard. It's a big war.
They're going to take the heart of America.
Yep, that's why we're staying here and fighting.
That's why I'm here.
But many won't stay and fight. This is what needs to happen. You need
I am incredulous.
Well,
and
you
I
said you were
have been
going to
incredulous for the longest time of the women shirking their responsibility as women because they're just nothing but whores, I guess. But that's why I was so impressed that when the women don't any longer organize to protect the rights of women and girls, and then I see the men doing it, I know that is a godly thing. When I see the fathers going, no, we're going to fight the rape gangs. We're going to fight City Hall and the police who keep them in power, who let them off. And that is what you did. You did the job that the women were brainwashed out of doing. And that is why I just love you and why I love Trump too. And I called him, he's the first woman president. You know, now they're calling him the first Jewish president. They got all their shit. But years ago, I said, he's the first woman president because he cares about rape. He cares about trafficking and about children's lives as sex slaves. Only women do that. But I thought so. But then when I saw you and him, I was like, these men are such a high vibration of men that they would, that's why I love Americans who are so down for us being in Iran to restore the rights of women, to go that it is worthy of that. Women's rights are worthy to be
so now they
fought
trying
for.
to spin
And
this
I
shit
just
as that,
thank
huh?
you as a woman who has lost faith in all the young women on earth, because you know they're out there going. I told my son they might as well have signs that say lesbians for clitorectomies. They're so crazy.
In the UK, the women are finding their voice now.
Good.
The women
Good.
are finding their voice. The women are getting organised. There's a brave female organisation in France called Collective Nemesis, which is what do they call them? Islamo-feminists? They're obviously under attack from everywhere, but they're brave. And I think that when women start, when the mums start,
yes,
that's when. And in Ireland, it was led by the mothers. In the last few years, the resistance being led by the mothers. There's really now we've got an organisation now called the Pink Ladies, and for me, women were silent, people were silent, people were scared. I think the dam's burst in Britain. The dam has burst.
Yeah, we saw that turnout.
We saw it on September 13th.
Katie Hopkins was in that chair when that.
Katie was.
Yeah.
She was here, and we
We
were.
all
So
cried.
Katie's been alone.
You know what the problem is? The problem is none of these politicians have to fear this shit because they're all guarded and protected. You know what I mean? They've.
You on, yeah.
Katie's been a lone voice, yeah? So Katie's been fearless. Katie was, if you listen to Katie's story, now I moan a lot about my situation, yeah? Katie doesn't. When you hear what they done to her, she might not have sat here and gone into detail what they done to her. They took her home. They broke her.
She took her children.
They took everything. She felt like she had to leave the UK. We both left the UK at the same time. She was the most hated woman in Britain. They called me the most hated man in Britain. We've both now returned to Britain, and the pub are on our side.
Yeah,
it's so great.
I walked through London with Katie, and I walked into an area where my children were, and everyone's embracing her and loving her. And to see that she never bent, she's stuck. She's an example of a real woman.
Yes,
she's an example of a fierce woman.
Yes,
and they
she is.
turned everything against her to mock her, to belittle her. When they took her home, they
The
made
humiliation ritual.
the humiliation ritual. But she's come through it, and she's a fierce woman. And do you know what she's done? Now there's many, many more women standing up. There's many more. So I'm optimistic. Something's happened. It's come from America. To Americans, there is a cultural revolution, a Christian revolution. There's really big things brewing in Great Britain. And it wouldn't have happened without you voting for Donald Trump. It wouldn't have happened without Elon Musk.
Right.
Elon Musk has literally picked our country up. He's picked free speech up.
Yes.
He's gave Europe light. He's gave Europeans, not Europe, the European Union are having nightmares about him. But he's gave us light at the end of the tunnel. We see now, listening to JD Vance, listening to your State Department, we know that powerful people are on our side. We know that this battle that we've been alone in, I felt alone. Do you know, talking about this in 2009, no one else was talking about it. It wasn't fashionable. It was difficult. People want to kill you. You get attacked in the street. Something's changed now. Influencers, youngsters are now wanting to talk about it. It's become acceptable. Lots of people, look, it wasn't just me. I formed an organization that many brave people joined. You hear my story. Right? I've got through it. So many people, you didn't get to hear their story. They lost their jobs. They were targeted. They were persecuted. It broke them. They've had breakdowns.
We're all going, they're going to break Tommy. They're going to get Tommy. They put Tommy in prison. He's going to get, the Shiv in prison. Somebody's going to get him in prison. I mean, we all watch it all the time, and we're like, shit, look at, here comes Tommy. And we just loved it. We loved seeing you walk out. We loved it.
I felt, look, they did at times break me. And I've been very low and very dark, and I've been felt broken. But every time I felt broken, I've been picked up. Do you know when I sat in jail this most recent time, like 2017 ruined me? I went to jail then. I was put on solitary confinement. They played every game they could play to mess with your head. And I went in jail one person and come out another, personality-wise. It really affected me bad.
I've watched that.
But then I got through it. And it took years.
Not about nothing.
And I was in dark places. I was probably self-medicating myself on alcohol. I was in low places, man. But then fast forward to now, this most recent prison sentence. Again, I knew it was coming. I was scared. I made the decision to air a documentary, which they gave me a court order saying if I ever show this documentary, I'll get 2 years in jail. I feel like I put them on trial for the world. Not they thought they're putting me on trial. I'm thinking I'm putting you on trial. I want you to prosecute me. I want you to put me in prison because I want the world to watch that film. Successful mission, 167 million views. Elon Musk pinned it on his tweet. You shared it. You spoke about it. People around the globe in these positions
what documentary
saw the film. They saw the injustice. When I went before the judge for this documentary, he said, remove the film and I will drastically reduce your sentence. I just said, look, if you want to send me to jail for telling the truth, send me to jail. It says more about you than me. People are going to see.
I'm going to switch this. I'm going to go look for this documentary he's talking about. Is it a documentary about Silenced? Is that the one he's talking about? Hopefully we don't forget.
The news is how we find out what's happening in the world. It's how we form our opinions. Opinions based on facts. That's the key. Facts.
Facts should be delivered to you by journalists based on the truth. But what if what they're delivering you isn't the truth? What if it's stories that are manipulated to make you think a certain way, to follow a certain narrative, different people's agendas? And what do they do to those who go against that mainstream narrative? Those who try to expose the truth. This is a documentary about the lengths they will go to shut down and silence anyone from bringing you, the British public, the truth.
I lost my job over this.
Non-disclosure agreements.
He's a nasty little piece of shit.
Swung the hockey stick over his head and hit me in the spine with it.
No, it's so baby.
This kid was out unconscious already. That's just malicious.
I'm not standing, you're not going, no, because what you're doing, I know what you're doing.
Tommy, I am going to mince your kids, mate.
This is a documentary about the unholy alliance between the media, the justice system, and our politicians. How they conspire to suppress free speech, how they pervert democracy, and how the truth and your freedoms
This
are just
is the
two of
one you
casualties.
watched, Cop
We will
Top?
show how the mainstream media deceives people, how they ignore the truth, how the lies of the virtue signalling BBC, ITV, and Channel 4 are all about their poisonous agenda, no matter the cost to innocent people. It's also a documentary about how an everyday playground incident between two young lads was spun into global news at a terrible cost to so many people, not least the two young lads themselves. We will show how the law is being abused, how people driven by hateful ideologies attempt to intimidate and silence anyone who dares to challenge the so-called progressive, so-called liberal narrative. We will show the foolishness of our fear-driven political leaders who jumped on a story, took a side without knowing the truth, or worse still, knowing it but hiding it, because the truth didn't fit their narrative, regardless of the human cost. And we'll ask three important questions. Firstly, is the media accountable to anyone in any way for what they report? Years after the Leveson inquiry, has anything
Yeah, I'd
changed,
never heard this
or do
dude,
they continue to
until you
act
said
with
something the other
impunity?
day.
Secondly, is our legal system still fit for purpose? We will show how lawyers who hate Britain but love jihadi warriors have weaponized the law system against us, and how the legal system really only works for the rich. And finally,
we've been
how do we
knowing
keep
that.
our politicians
We've been
accountable?
knowing that.
If the police, the courts, and the state can silence anyone for speaking inconvenient truths, truths that may raise questions about government policy, is the UK any different from China, Russia, or Iran in their treatment of dissidents? And of course, for Piers Morgan, for Jeremy Fine, for the BBC, ITV, and Channel 4, it's a tutorial on journalism. Keep watching it, you'll learn. Our story appears to start and end in a brief playground incident at Almondbury Community School in Huddersfield. A playground scuffle. One boy poured a bottle of water on another child. The school dealt with it, and that should have been that. 3 weeks later, however, a video clip of the incident surfaced, and within hours, with the help of lawyers and the ignorant rantings of ITV's Piers Morgan and the BBC's Jeremy Vine, it was made into a global news event. And the lives of so many people were turned upside down. Such playground incidents happen every day. So why was this spat between two boys transformed into global news? Well, one of the boys was white, and the other a Syrian refugee. At which point the truth of the matter was buried beneath an avalanche of agendas and opportunism. Within hours, the Race Hate Brigade was sharpening their blades.
Well, clearly, when somebody comes from Syria, fleeing Assad's regime, coming to a place like this, when they get treated that way, that's an issue. And the whole world is looking at us.
Where are we? We're in Almondbury. Do I say the scene of the incident? Is it a scene is the incident? It's the scene of the Great Lie. I call it the Great Lie because this lie was pushed around the globe. Yeah. This here is the school where the world was told a Syrian refugee was waterboarded by a racist English bully. It was in a playing field here, and do you know what? This is the first time I've been here, because when this blew up on the news, it's a child's school. Kids are in school. I didn't come outside here. You'd see the scenes outside here where the imam was here with mobs of men, yeah, mobs of Muslim men. Extremists travelled up from London, such as Ali Dawah, to cause a scene outside this kids' school. Anyway, but I'm here. Why am I here? I'm here because I face a court case. I'm being prosecuted. It's gone to the High Court, and I have to prove. I made a video stating that it was a lie.
stating that Jamal wasn't innocent and telling some facts about Jamal beating up girls, an instance that I'd been warned about by the members of this community to tell the truth about what happened at this school. I've got to prove it in court. So I've come to Huddersfield. I'm now going to knock. I need to find witnesses. I've got addresses for many. I need to knock and talk to them and see who I can get to come to court to help me prove to you, the public. This is about as much as proving in court as proving to you, the British public, that I was the only journalist in the country who told the truth about what happened in this community. The story you were told. You were told that a vulnerable Syrian child refugee had been bullied and waterboarded by a nasty white boy. You were told it was a racist attack. You were told of the dangers of far-right extremism. You were invited to agree that this kind of intolerance could not be tolerated. Was he vulnerable? Was it a racist attack? Our evidence shows the answers to both these questions was no. Was the Syrian lad waterboarded? Why was this word used? What about this? Was that waterboarding? Take a look at this. It shows a group of non-white children beating up a white girl. It went viral online, but it wasn't touched by the mainstream media. It wasn't made into a global story. Why not? Meanwhile, the usual suspects had lit the fire and were gleefully stoking the flames.
Everybody was exposing the scumbag that did this, who I hope gets severe retribution.
And of course, the politicians. They're always quick to jump on the bandwagon. Theresa May, Sajid Javid, Naz Shah, Nicholas Soames, Winston Churchill's grandson. Such moral outrage. And it's not just the media and the politicians. In today's Twitter and Facebook-driven worlds, where celebrities and groups compete to virtue signal, most of them driven by the warm feeling they get by expressing their moral outrage, or by fear. The fear of what might happen to them if they don't. Everyone who's anyone pumped the Bailey Jamal story. Boxers, Lennox Lewis, Huddersfield Football Club, celebrities from across the globe.
Let's have a look at all of the celebrities and blue tick brigade who pumped the Jamal story.
And here are some of the people who pumped the story you watched earlier of the white girl getting beaten up. Sadly, whether it's politicians, celebrities or other groups, none of them are wise enough or pause long enough to ask whether they have the whole story, to check the facts, to find the truth. But why let the truth get in the way of such a good story? And this story was just too good a story. Two lads in a playground scrap is not international news. But racist white thug waterboards helpless Syrian refugee, boom! Racism can't be tolerated, beware of the far right. That's their kind of story. We'll hear more about the militant left later, but they clearly weren't going to miss out on this.
Well, representing might be too harsh a word, but I'm here as a concerned citizen.
Mohammed Amin Pandor, a mufti on a mission. He rushed to Almondbury from his mosque in Batley, a town at the far end of the district. In fact, there's 40 mosques closer to this school. But perhaps Mufti Pandor had his own agenda. You see, his little brother, Councillor Shabir Pandor, is the leader of Kirklees Council in Huddersfield. And they were having some pretty bad news days at that time. By the way, Mufti Pandor, he's the same guy who ordered the Islamic mob to come to the school in Batley and demand the sacking of the RE teacher who showed a cartoon of Muhammad in a discussion about free speech.
Look at what we do as a community and you'll understand our stance. So what has happened is totally unacceptable. Yeah, and we have made sure that the school understands that. The teacher has been suspended. The teacher has been suspended.
You may recall the teacher had to flee and he's still in hiding under police protection. Luckily, he hasn't ended up like Samuel Paty, the French teacher who was beheaded for having a similar discussion in a classroom about free speech. You see, free speech is essential for any society wishing to maintain intellectual and social progress. But not all societies are bothered about intellectual and social progress. Should we be silenced by the demands of Mufti Pandor and Sharia law? Should we sacrifice our freedom of speech? Should we sacrifice the free and open exchange of ideas? Should we sacrifice the cultural inheritance of which we are all custodians? But back to the bad news days in Kirklees and the playground incident in 2018. There was also Kirklees councillor Masood Ahmed.
I'm not aware of there's a problem at the school. That's something obviously I need to find out in terms of that if there is a problem at the school, and that is something I will definitely be picking up.
Now, some of you may remember this.
Michael is going to explain what's going to happen next, right?
Am I being arrested? I am being arrested.
Causing a breach of peace.
Of course, I've caused a breach of peace. I'm being arrested.
But the content of what you're
Can we just say
streaming.
The content of what I'm streaming, I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. Can you get me a solicitor? Can you get me a solicitor?
Can you just turn off
Yes.
your live feed?
Can you get me a solicitor?
Turn off your live feed, please.
Yeah?
Do you understand what I just said?
Well, no, can you explain it again?
Causing a breach of the peace.
What does that mean? What does that mean, officer? At the same time as this playground spat between two young lads, 20 Huddersfield men were being jailed across Yorkshire at Leeds Crown Court for what would be the biggest grooming gang Britain has ever seen. Ultimately, 35 almost exclusively Muslim men would be given 380 years in prison for grooming, trafficking and raping young children, most of whom were known to Councillor Pandor's Kirklees Council. Mufti Pandor travelled for half an hour to rabble-rouse a gang outside the school gates over this playground incident, when within a couple of mile radius in Batley, police have arrested a further 99 men in relation to historic sex crimes. So far, 32 have been charged, including one Ibrahim Pandor, 41 of Batley. That makes it the highest destination of grooming gang arrests anywhere in the UK. We Googled to see what Mufti Pandor has said about these grooming gang atrocities. Nothing. We Googled to see what Councillor Masood Ahmed's condemnation. Nothing. In fact, we can't find the condemnation from the Mufti's brother either, Councillor Shabir Pandor, leader of the council. Just one statement from him, reported in June 2019, telling the National Working Group of Child Sexual Exploitation Response Unit that his authority had moved forward. That's it. They've moved on. Never mind grooming gangs, gang rape of young children. All these men seem to be far more concerned about what happened in a playground at Almondbury Community School, or about cartoons of their prophet Muhammad. I think I now realise how difficult this is going to be, because everyone we've spoke to today, they're all confirming what I said was true. Everyone's confirming what Jamal was like, including school staff. But as soon as I mention this camera, as soon as I mention court, I need someone to come to court, they just totally silent straight away. No one can have said that. I need to show the public everything that I've heard today. I need the public to hear and know the truth. I need them to know how much they've been lied to by the media about what happened in this town. And the only way, unfortunately, the only way I'm going to be able to do that is with hidden cameras. Because today, I've heard the truth, but I need every one of you to know the truth. And everyone's too scared.
Yeah, that's what's coming here.
Everyone is too scared.
I see that coming here.
To come to
That's
court.
why
Some
they
end up getting-
demonize the white man so much, right? Everything's about demonizing a culture or a specific race of people. So then their voice don't matter. No matter what they say, it's a lie.
We're going to end up getting hammered in
I
court.
see that
The whole
coming.
world told I've lied.
That's been happening for years.
When I haven't, I was the only journalist in the UK who told the truth. So we need to prove it. So we'll shoot down the motorway now. We'll go get these hidden cameras.
3 white guys jump a black dude. It's headline news. 10 black dudes jump 1 white guy. You don't hear shit about it.
These are all
Same race.
So this is a tie. There's a camera in that. That's the camera. Mad, isn't it? There's the camera there. This today. That's the camera. I'll have to take this off, but it doesn't matter because apparently this records all the audio, records everything. That's the camera, and I feel a little bit dirty doing this. But it is the only way I'm going to get people to speak. And then I need you to hear what I hear.
The idea that people would maraud the streets looking for him was appalling. The fact that the video itself, although it showed the accumulation of things that are built up to that, did not deserve what happened to him or to anybody else in that situation. And I'm afraid the media, I call it a perfect storm. I was getting emails from Pakistan, from Australia, from America, telling me to resign. So it went worldwide, and I'm afraid I came into teaching to help poor people, and they got rid of me. I've got a problem here.
All right, Jan, you too.
I lost my job over this. And as a result, the council has told me that I cannot speak to anybody ever about it. So I can't discuss it. I can't discuss it with the media. I've always wanted to have my say
against it,
which I've never had, never been allowed to have, never been allowed to say goodbye to my staff.
Come out of it.
Was just told to leave. So I worked there.
I promise you, we're going to come out of it. We ain't going to let them do it.
Nearly 30 years, 20 years, and never got a card, never got a goodbye.
This whole thing was just used. The whole thing was used to push them in.
And hijacked and by the right of the political, I'm quite a political person, by the right and the left. It was hijacked and spun all out of proportion, and now we've got problems.
But essentially what I've got,
so what you'll meet is a wall of silence.
What a mess.
It is a mess, but it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy for Bailey. I'm not sure Jamal will get anything out of this ever in his life, positive out of it either, necessarily. He might have got a few silver coins from Judas, but that's about it. You know, that's it.
The thing is that the incident happened 6 weeks prior, or weeks prior. And then on the same day at the same time, I've looked at the timings, the GoFundMe set up, the statement's released.
Well, now you see you're putting a picture together.
And then they built it up.
I couldn't comment on that, but you've got a picture there.
Already, that's gold.
Me
I know that's
either,
gold.
bro.
All I hope.
I haven't
I hope
done
that's
anything to
recorded.
anybody.
I can't turn a computer on, so I just pray that's got the audio and the visual, and it's not pointing up there. That we've got it, because that was the head teacher, and that's the first visit, and I know this is going to work. It's exciting. Was there a racism problem in the school? And
well, no, I don't know.
Look, everybody has a right to feel safe, right? And that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to take the white people's right to feel safe away from them. Now, do I think people should be treated different for the color of their skin? Absolutely not. But you're not going to treat me different either, you know? Just like the selective hiring, you could get a job somewhere if you was a certain color over somebody who is experienced. To me, that's fucking retarded. And that's what Charlie was trying to talk about with the plane shit. But I've always said that. I didn't need somebody to tell me that. I knew that. You know that.
There was.
What about other Syrian refugees? Like, do you think what happened to Jamal in the school was because he was a Syrian refugee?
No, I told you before that would have happened if the child was white, big, blue, whatever color.
They're all scared.
Yeah. We've got careers, aren't they? I work for probation service now.
You do now?
Yeah. So I don't know where I stand with it. If I go, I could lose my job.
So they seem to be pretty keen on these NDAs. Who is that?
Deputy Council. But I can't disclose that with you.
Like what?
Loads. I'm saying I can't disclose it because I signed it.
That incident was talked about by Theresa May at a G20 summit. Somebody asked her a question about it. We were then Ofsteded by 5 of the top inspectors in the country. Then only send 1 registered inspector. We had the head of safeguarding. I had Amanda Spielman there.
It is a form of control, yeah, for sure.
If you want my honest opinion, they said, get up there. I don't know who they is. Get up there and shut that school. Get up there and get rid of this.
Get rid of the problem over the Bailey.
Correct.
Over Jamal.
Correct. Get up there and get rid of it.
That's because that's
But
the
why
way
do you
we
think
were
that
taught,
is?
though.
Like, do you think, because I looked at Jamal,
But you have to realize, and I know you know this already, these people were taught to hate us from birth. All their problems stem from white people. That's what they've been told from birth.
because he come here 2 years ago, I've got so many negative things said about him now by so many people. Well, I mean, so many. Well, I mean, I've got children at school.
I've said it to you before. We had 9 Syrian children, 9 families.
Yep.
We don't have one issue.
Well, my view is
Yeah.
that you won't get much of an answer out of Rob because you work there and he's bound by various confidentialities. So,
Non-disclosure agreements. Do they get paid as well?
not going to comment.
They all have. Every teacher got paid not to tell the truth. But the head teacher can't even talk about Jamal at all.
No, neither can I.
Neither can you. What's your name?
Well, if you work it out, it must be a good one, mustn't
Oh,
it?
yeah. So, did you work there as well?
No, I was the chair of governors there, but so it's not.
What my issue is?
You're not going to get anywhere. Really.
No, yeah.
And Rob wouldn't talk to you either, so it's.
They're trying to.
It's pointless me even giving you.
I told the truth.
Your contact details.
Okay.
It wouldn't work with it.
I told the truth about what happened that day.
I am not even arguing.
His life was destroyed
Well, that's not fair either, is it?
as a racist bully. He won't.
And he wasn't.
I know.
You and I both know that.
I know.
But the truth is just.
How much money is it?
I can't see the figure because if I see the figure, it goes out.
Because, mate,
18.
18. I've just found out. Well, the head teacher's told us already that he was blackmailed and threatened.
18.
I've just found out of Kumar. He was paid £18,000. Paid. He said, I can't say. Shh. I signed. I was paid. So paid what? He was paid money by the local council, so he can't tell the truth about what's gone on in that school. They've given everyone non-disclosure agreements, from school staff to governors, and Paul Kumar to get £18,000. He's not even involved. Silencing everybody, so no one can ever. This is forever. Once you sign that agreement, no one can ever tell the truth. While they pushed this manufactured lie that destroyed lives, schools, communities, everyone's life. I've seen life after life after life, person after person's life destroyed, while the council, your local council, Kirklees Council, give away hundreds of thousands of pounds to make sure that the truth can never be told. I can't believe it. I knew from day dot, I asked myself the question, when this was blowing up and I knew the truth, I kept saying, how come no teacher's telling the truth? If all those teachers know what's gone on in that school, how come none of them are coming out and saying, well, now we know. Now the whole world's going to know. Because Kirklees Council paid them not to. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That dude got roughly 2,400 United States dollars to not say anything. That ain't shit.
Jamal was in your year.
Yeah, he was in the same year as me.
What was Jamal's attitude like in school?
He wasn't very nice. He called female teachers bitches. He just didn't really have respect for the female students, to be honest. Yeah, basically, we were in a PE lesson and we were playing hockey with a teacher called Mr. Cattell.
$23,000? Okay.
I had taken
I don't know why. I looked it up. I'm sorry. I'm glad you corrected
the
me.
hockey puck off of Jamal because I was on the other team and sent it to the other side of the room where my teammates were. And I then turned around and just felt a really sharp pain in my back, and he'd swung the hockey stick over his head and hit me in the spine with it.
Oh, I think, okay, I got you. I fucked up.
Do you think there's any way that could have been
Thank
an
you, Bruce.
accident?
No. It knocked me to my knees.
It knocked you to your knees.
Just enough.
How long had Jamal been at the school?
Just enough.
About 2 weeks. I've had lasting injuries from it. It's caused me to have severe pain in the top of my back, and I'm on medication for the pain.
Still now?
Yeah.
Did Jamal get in trouble for this?
Not that I'm aware of.
First, I want to apologise to anyone I've been forced to record with a hidden camera. Sadly, people are terrified to tell the truth because of the potential consequences. But the truth still needs to be told.
Do you remember of any incident specifically with Jamal with girls?
Well,
There was that one where he hit that girl with hockey stick, wasn't it?
Yeah, Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Think of the name then.
Yeah, let's go.
Lovely little girl, that.
Yeah.
He just rude to him, obnoxious, bloody nasty. No respect for ladies, no respect for girls.
Yeah.
Because he was like to the side. He like tried like pushing me and like, so I quickly moved out there because obviously I knew what he was like. He would have actually hit me and stuff.
Yeah.
So I moved, and then that's when he like moved his arms if he was going to try to slap my face like back.
Okay. And he tried, but he did. But on that day, he spat at you multiple times. Where'd the spit go?
Like literally all on my uniform outside and all down the school bag. Because when I went home, I told mum that my mum was disgusted in it. But the school said that because it was outside of school times, they can't really do much about it.
Okay.
He's a nasty little piece of shit.
Was he?
Yeah. And I told you to listen to that when she rung me.
Okay.
He's a horrible boy.
Was he?
Yeah. And it's all that.
What was he like at school then?
Nasty.
To
everybody and anybody. He had no respect for women at all. None. And even staff.
Jamal grabbed him by his tie, which just threw him against the wall, cracked his head open against back at wall and just kept throwing him against the wall. This kid was out unconscious already. That's just malicious. That's just intent to kill.
The house though.
Were they?
They had a young lad and a girl, and they were horrendous. The kids, they were just horrific. The couple of kids that they had, they used to bully the kids.
What, Jamal?
Yeah.
See, what was Jamal like though?
A dickhead.
Was he?
He came to isolation a few times. They weren't perfect child.
No. He was betrayed.
Well, you know what job I did, don't you?
He was in isolation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In isolation loads of times. No, he used to lie a lot.
But this whole thing was built off what he said, and if he lied a lot, it's a big problem.
Times, yeah.
Was that?
He was quite a violent person.
He was a violent person?
Yeah. Like, so I was a year below and he was a year above.
Yep.
He used to, every time I walked past, I grabbed him here.
Every time you walked past him? What about, your mum said something about he put something in between hands?
Oh, yeah. It was a compass. I remembered it yesterday, just as you went. It was a compass. It got a compass and he was going around like, when he got to me, he went proper hard into me, made me bleed and everything. And I think it was Miss Ennis that proper gave him a top telling off.
Okay.
Well, there are testimonies from several children who alleged they were being bullied by him. Younger children, little girls, mostly girls. Is Jamal the innocent victim, you've been told? I gathered these testimonies over just a few hours filming in Huddersfield. I could have carried on.
Yeah, I was waiting outside isolation to beat the girl up.
And about the lies?
Yeah, I'd say about Jamal. He used to tell fibs. Several times got investigated. And it just fucking turned out to be fucking lies.
The fact he always lied is a big point. The fact that you know that the police, the school investigated incidents where he said things happened, and they turned out to be made up.
Yeah, they were fibs. They couldn't have happened. It couldn't happen because of I think there was one. The child wasn't even in school that he accused. I can remember.
I know he said a couple of things to kids.
Yeah.
You know, about what he was going to do to sisters and what have you.
To Bailey?
To Bailey and to others.
Oh, and to others.
But not a very nice boy.
When you say, what was he going to do to the sisters?
Well, he told Bailey he was going to rape them.
Told Bailey he was going to rape his sister. But just to see what he was genuinely like.
No, not a nice lad.
I know, and I've tried to argue that it was in the public's interest for them to know the truth about Jamal. And they said,
was just retaliating.
Yeah.
You know, which most people do if somebody threatens their sisters.
Yeah. Younger.
Yeah. Bully.
Jamal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding now.
Yeah. That's what I remember. He said he was going to stab him, so I think it was a science or something.
Yeah.
If I remember. He said, yeah, so he goes, come on then, what are you saying now?
Because that thing of him getting caught with a knife in school, it's like, what? Caught with a knife and a screwdriver?
Yeah.
Bailey gets expelled for pouring a bottle of water.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Surely you get.
Have you got a statement on that?
No, because there's things missing. But I've got his dad mentioned in it from a meeting. His dad mentioned it in a meeting with the school. His dad mentioned about them catching him with a knife and a screwdriver. His dad brought it up. I've got it in black and white.
Yeah, so you've got a good case there.
I've got it. Yeah, he got caught with a knife. They can't deny it.
You see, the truth was there for the media, was there for celebrities and politicians to see. They could have told you the truth at the time. Before some of you gave over £160,000 of your money to the poor victim, Jamal. Well, not so poor anymore. But none of this was true. A key part of this case is that I reported what I was told. Before my involvement in this story, a mother went online and said her daughter had been attacked by Jamal.
I contacted that mother. She sent me images of her daughter. She said her little daughter was beaten by 3 Muslim girls and that Jamal jumped in and bit her daughter on the head. She sent me the images of the bite marks on her daughter's head. I said, can I speak to you? Can I interview you? I rang the mother, but the child was too scared to talk to me.
She's scared.
Oh no, everyone's scared.
A girl went online and said that she had been attacked by Jamal. Both of these victims deleted their comments. Why? Both of these victims have gone online and reported this before my involvement at all in this case. I simply reported what they were saying.
We revisited the mother's house to try and get confirmation as to why she backtracked on the story she had put out and the story she had told me.
I don't care if you're driving, Tommy Robinson's there.
Tell her not to worry, don't worry.
He said, don't worry.
Yeah. So when you put online about Jamal, what happened? Like, what did you what happened? What was the response to that?
What do you mean?
I mean, did you receive? Did I receive
threats? Yeah, we did.
What sort of threats?
Rape, all sorts, Tommy, all sorts.
And I'm just because what I'm trying to understand is that and is that because what I've looked at, and then because Jamal's solicitors are using a statement that you made saying that Jamal had nothing to do with it, but was that? What I'm asking is was that in response to the threats you received?
Yeah.
It was. Okay.
I don't feel safe at school. Sometimes I say to my dad, I don't want to go to school anymore. I was just crying and I didn't do nothing because I respect the school rules.
He was put up on a pedestal by every single media outlet, politicians, footballers, celebrities, boxers, everybody. They're suing me for defamation for what I've said about him. All I'm knocking on the door and asking teacher after teacher after teacher is what was Jamal like? And it's just flowing. It's just boom. And he was far worse than anything I said. Far worse. I find it insane. Because there is no way that all the things I'm now finding out, that no other journalist has found this out. They must have known what it was like, because it hasn't been hard.
That's fucking crazy.
But I reported Paul Bailey was disgusting. It really was.
Cool, because that's what I spoke to loads of people said. No, Bailey wasn't a bully.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't
I mean,
racist.
His mum had a bit of a gob, don't get me wrong, because they used to live up here.
Yeah.
Bailey wasn't like that. So he had 2 half-caste sisters, so how could he have been bad, but Bailey wasn't racist.
So you were told Bailey was a bully and he was a racist. He wasn't a saint in school. He'd be the first to admit that, but he wasn't a bully or a racist.
Yeah,
Police concluded there was nothing racist
Somebody
about
got
the stuff.
shit.
Yet you were told he was vermin. You were told he needed to be dealt with. He was vilified by by politicians and by celebrities. Bailey a bully, Bailey a racist. Not according to his teachers and other children. Not according to his head teacher of his school.
He was a 15-year-old kid, and he could be, have a great future. He's a very articulate lad. He's got a lot of issue about justice. Yeah, I think, I could have seen him being a lawyer or something like that because he has that in him.
Really?
Yeah. And he would stand up for his peers in school where he felt things were fair.
Yeah.
He would do that.
But Bailey didn't even get to sit his GCSEs because of this campaign of hate, this perversion of the truth. What about Jamal's broken arm? Which the world was told was because of bullying. That was a lie. School incident reports record that he had been punching a much younger child in the face while holding him in a headlock, and he was pushed off him, fell and broke his arm. The police considered the incident to have been dealt with properly.
He started calling my mum a white fat bitch and stuff, and then he
It's like calling your mum
a white fat bitch.
a white fat bitch.
And then I went up to him, and then I chucked the bottle at him, and then he put me in a headlock, and then my mate pushed him off me.
And I believe that's how he broke his arm.
Yeah.
There are all sorts of misconceptions, like the fact that he had a broken arm.
Oh, I've got 2 independent witnesses.
No, he hit a year 8 kid. And another kid in year 11 stepped in and said, "What are you doing?" Pushed him over. Broke his arm.
Who he had in the headlock.
It must have been just start of year 11. Put this kid in a headlock. One of my friends wasn't having it. Didn't like how he was behaving. Grabbed him and just threw him off him. Like anyone do break up a fight, they just like throw him off him. But this wasn't a fight. This was an all-out brawl, one-sided, completely one-sided. Because this kid had no match against Jamal. Just threw him off him and he landed on a curb.
How big was the kid? Jamal was in year 11.
Yeah, half the size of Jamal easily.
You know, I know he was 12 and Jamal was 15. Yeah.
But he was like kind of like half size-ish, kind of like up to shoulders kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he still had no match against him. And my friend just grabbed him, threw him off him, and he landed on a curb. And that was like it.
So I've read it reported by Jeremy Vine and in the newspapers that that was an incident of Jamal being bullied.
No, exact opposite. He was bullying this kid.
So you see, people thought that was all part of it.
But that's, do you know why
Can somebody be thrown to the floor with a broken arm?
But do you know why they thought it was part of it? Because the solicitor said it was.
No, well, that's not true. That genuinely is not true. I could even name it. I won't. But I could name the child in year 8 that he did it to, and I could name the child in year 11 that stepped in.
So someone stepped in.
Because basically, the schools are a pretty good place. Kids have good values. So if you saw a bigger kid hitting a little kid, you said, "No, you step in and say, what are you doing?" Yeah, off him. And we even had it where.
Do you know what he said to the year 8 kid?
No.
Called his mum a white slag.
Yes. Now
I've got that on camera as well.
Now you say it, yes, he would have done that.
What does
and that
white
would be
slack mean, British
incredibly
Bulldog?
provocative for him.
Even in his statement to court, Jamal claims they were forced to relocate from Huddersfield for their own safety to a different part of the country. Really?
Does it
Because the
mean
records
whore?
say
Like
there was
when
no
we call
motivation,
somebody a whore, is that what?
and there was
slack
no
means?
threat at home. That's what the records say.
Yeah, it's what it
And this
sounds
is why
like.
the authorities, they refused to move them. And while all this was going on, records also show that his dad, Jihad, his dad's name is Jihad, he'd threatened to kill himself if the rest of his family weren't brought in from Syria. It's not surprising that some authorities expressed concerns that Jihad Hijazi was trying to manipulate the system to get what he wanted, including better housing. You were not told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You weren't told anything approaching the truth by the mainstream media. And in Jihad Holy War's statement to the court, Jihad said that he wished he had died in the war with his family rather than go through what happened at Almondbury Community School. Really? He wished he was dead and all his family were dead rather than go through this school playground incident. Listen to the clip again. Listen to what Bailey's saying. He's asking Jamal repeatedly, what are you saying now? It wasn't a random attack. It wasn't a racist attack. Bailey didn't threaten to stab Jamal. The playground incident was not the beginning of the story. It was a culmination of many events. Not least, it was a response to Jamal's alleged threats to rape Bailey's younger sisters. They're about 9 years old at the time of this. So as a girl at that school, when you saw the portrayal of what happened with Bailey and him, because he was painted as this innocent little kid.
He wasn't innocent. It's out in everyone.
It's out in everyone.
And I used to see him bully Bailey's little sisters and stuff. So.
Everybody was exposing the scumbag that did this, who I hope gets severe retribution. I hope his parents take action, right? Never mind anything else. What are you producing here with this vermin doing what he's doing here? That's not Britain. That's not what we do as a country.
You can hear him there describe Bailey as vermin. Words are important when you're on a daytime platform and people listen to what you say. What do you do to vermin? You exterminate. You kill it. Low life?
Yeah, that's
Called
what
him a
I'm
thug.
starting to kind of
But
see a
worst of
picture
all,
of too.
He demanded severe
I wonder if this
retribution.
dude ever apologized. I wonder if Pierce ever apologized for this shit.
Against this child. At the same time as this, Jeremy Vine was reporting. He didn't tell people the bully's name, although he was finding it hard to name a child. Instead, he told his followers where they could find that name. Now, this is a direct response of both of your reporting, because when you reported, you can follow the timeline and the repercussions of what that brought. What I've done here, in 2018, there's a charity called Tell Mama that records Muslim hate incidents. Now, even though they've been in the past penalised for exaggerating the figures, let's work off their figures. They say there are over 1,000 hate incidents, with 325 of them being online. Some of them Islamophobic, which means criticising Islam as well. Here, I've printed a piece of paper for each one of those hate incidents. 327 hate incidents online against the entire Muslim community of the UK in 2018. The 325 Islamophobic comments, they're the ones you read about on the news every day. They're the ones people in jail for. They're the hate incidents the media keeps shoving down your throat. So each piece of paper here represents a hate comment aimed at a child after a playground dispute. I want to read these now. And Piers, you demanded severe retribution. That's what you demanded against this child. Let's see if you're happy with some of this. I pray someone rapes you and your whole family while you watch. Fuck your mother, fuck your love. The Syrians will rape your family. If I saw you, I would rape you to death. You will be raped by the Fallujah group. I hope your mother will not be racist when she is raped. I'm going to bum your nan alive, then dead her again. And the threats of rape, all of these threats of rape, imagine being these children. Imagine being a 15-year-old child living in Huddersfield with your sisters. Muslim men are jailed in the biggest scandal in the history of our country for mass rapes in that town. And then you're receiving and you're reading these messages. You're going to die. You're going to fucking die. We're going to strangle your mum, your dad, your friends. I'll kill your whole family. I can't wait to find you so I can slit your throat. You're the person who should be killed in those ISIS videos. You, your parents, and your whole family have to be burned. Do everyone a favour and fucking off yourself. Looking at you makes me want to commit suicide. Go commit suicide, you oxygen thief. Jump off a bridge, bro. Do humans a favour and kill yourself. We don't want you and you don't belong in this world. Again, imagine being that child reading them. Piers, is that severe enough for you? This is a mental health record for Bailey McLaren. Bailey was referred to Luton CAMS by Luton and Dunstable Psychiatry Liaison on the 31st of December 2018. Reason, patient involved in incident in Huddersfield and has been relocated to Luton with family. Patient unable to cope with not returning home and has taken an overdose. So this lie, this narrative, this agenda, which comes before anything else, by the politicians, by the media, that was pumped. This child, it doesn't matter. His life didn't matter. You know, if he killed himself, no one would have cared. We wouldn't have heard condemnation from any of the politicians or from any of the media. No one cared. Because everyone from start to finish in this story is collateral damage, so long as they have the narrative. And Piers, you have a son. You have children. Demanding severe retribution against a child for a school playground dispute is unforgivable. You sit there and you preach. You preach against us. You make your accusations against me. Never have I labelled Muslim children as vermin. Never have I demanded my followers to commit severe retribution against anybody. And this is what the media, the politicians and the celebrities created, aided and abetted by the left-wing activism and the selective indignation of Islam. Hypocrites out there might say, who cares? That's what he deserved, right? Imagine for one moment if I had incited violence against a young Muslim lad in the reversal of this situation. And you see, in a district where a generation of young girls have been raped, these threats are far from empty. What do you think, if you were working in the school at that time, what do you think what the media done?
I think the media fucking blew out of fucking proportion. They weren't fucking waterboarding at all.
I know. But then the media run that Jamal was being bullied. Like,
you see, he used to complain that he used to be bullied. There was another, I think, Kirklees Kirklees guy that came, that Jamal said somebody gonna knife him or something. I think that should be on record.
Yeah.
I think when we investigated, I think it was a lot of bollocks.
I'm gathering that by reading the school records. That he made accusations, and then when they're investigated,
and there were a lot of bollocks.
He lied.
Yeah.
Now, ITV, Piers Morgan, you used your platform to incite hatred of a young child. No time for facts or the inconvenient truth. Surely you must have known the truth, because within a few hours of the story breaking, I was receiving dozens of messages from parents, pupils, and staff saying there was much more to the story than met the eye. So I did what any journalist could have done, should have done. I asked questions. Were you just being lazy? Was it willful blindness? Or are you just incompetent, Piers? And the BBC's Jeremy Vine, to you personally, was it clinical cowardice? After all, you didn't reveal the white boy's name. You just told everyone where to find it, on Twitter. Are you afraid of being sued? Although it wouldn't have been the BBC licence fee payers picking up your legal bills, would it? Or was this your Pontius Pilate moment, condemning a child whilst washing your hands of any responsibility? Because that's what you did, and you didn't seek the truth either. Piers, Jeremy, your lazy, inept reporting was not without consequence, as we will see. You incited hatred, you succeeded, and that's contempt. Your actions, not Bailey's, led to Bailey and his family being driven from their home in the middle of the night, like the very refugees you claim you care about. The hate you incited was off the scale. Men with machetes had arrived at the school. Gangs were roaming the streets looking for Bailey. West Yorkshire Police told Bailey's mum that the terrorism threat had been raised to red. They had intelligence of people coming from Bradford to get Bailey and his family. Rather than deal with the threat, they moved Bailey and his family to a place of safety. So, whilst one child had the support of the whole country, had the support of the Prime Minister, Sajid Javid, the local football club, everyone rallying behind this child, £160,000 donated to him. The other child, in this incident, his family were driven from their home, threats, groups of men looking for him, ready to commit violence against him. And the police stopped the mum. So the police took the family, the police went and got the family to get them out of their house through imminent danger, and they were taking them to relocate them here. Let's have a look. The Night Inn. This is the accommodation that Bailey's mother, with two 9-year-old sisters and children, were being relocated to. This one-star hotel, where rooms are rented by the hour, next door to a brothel. The imam, who brought a mob of men up to the school, he has 3 mosques within a stone's throw of where we're standing now. Bailey's mother, through her sense, looked up this hotel, saw it was owned by Muslims, read the reviews that it's a prostitute racket drug hole, yeah, and got out of the police meat wagon with her children to take them to safety herself. But this is where Kirklees Council were housing those children and that family. This is the most Muslim populated area of Leeds. That family were taken to so-called safety, yeah, surrounded by mosques in what is a Muslim ghetto, yeah, which is why I'm getting bibbed and going to get some cause a scene now.
We went to see from neighbours what it was like at the time of the incident.
I think it was a BMW and X5. And there were about 6 Asian lads in it. And they threatened to firebomb the house.
God.
Yeah. They threatened to shoot her.
And that they got a $250,000.
To rape kids.
Well, they come outside and done all that.
They shouting and screaming.
Shouting and screaming.
Stuff like that.
Well, I saw the video because a neighbour had shared it. And then I saw on the Yorkshire Live them making Bailey out to be really horrible and that Jamal was a poor little victim, and it wound me up. So I commented on it. The victim wasn't a victim. He hit me in the back with a hockey stick. And then within the space of 2 hours, I had about 250 comments saying that I was lying, that I must have been excluded from the school because I'm a liar. Just horrible comments like that. None of them believe in me.
And did you take the comment down?
Yeah, I didn't want to, but my mum was worried for repercussions, so she asked me to take it down, so I did.
This is the hotel. This is, I believe, a 4-star hotel. It's totally full of illegal immigrants. This is across the country. So the point to make is that illegal immigrants come here, young fighting age men, not families, not children. And this is where councils house them. Let's have a look. Hello, boys. How you doing? Do you mind if I ask, what country are you from?
Sour poison.
I do not speak English.
You do speak English. Just what country are you from?
Iran.
Iran. Yeah. Iran, okay. Yeah, Kurdistan, Iran. Okay, nice, cool, man. I'm just seeing. Is the hotel full? Yeah. Yeah, full. You enjoying it here? Yeah.
Nice hotel, nice food.
Nice hotel, nice food.
Yeah, healthy food.
Healthy food. It looks like a nice hotel. Yeah, how many people are in here?
I think we're 200.
200. Lots of children?
My eye problem, I think it have the little children.
No children?
My not children.
No, not many children, no. But it's a nice hotel. Nice hotel. It is a nice hotel. And if you look at where the other family were being housed in Beeston, and you compare it to this 4-star hotel, nice food, as our friend says. Healthy food. Hello, bro.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hey, do I come back in?
Yeah, we're off now, mate. We're done now.
That's nice.
Yeah. Do you know what they have in here? They have a full-time doctor and nurses, full-time stationed in here. Full-time. So you know when you can't, my dad tried to get a doctor's appointment earlier. Couldn't get one. Full-time. Full-time.
Very bad.
The food's bad? The food's bad? Is it free?
Yes.
Yeah, it's free.
You're crazy.
I had governors who had friends in the media.
Yeah.
Who tried to explain to them.
There's a lot more to this.
All of that, and the Ofsted, the whole shebang. But it was never picked up.
Apart from my reporting, there was not a single media statement given the other side of this story. The staff knew, other pupils knew. They could have exposed the lie. Why didn't they? They were either not free to tell you the truth, or they were terrified of the consequences. And that's for so-called journalists. Some can't find the truth. Some won't tell the truth. And some, they're afraid of the truth. But me, as a journalist, it's my job to present you the truth.
If you want my honest opinion, they said, get up there, I don't know who they is, get up there and shut that school. Get up there and get rid of this.
You see, when the media and politicians decide to kill a story, when they decide to hide the truth from you, they'll do whatever it takes. They shut down the school. It's gone. Everyone lost their jobs. You see, once this lie about a racist attack had gone global, the truth could never be allowed to come out. The real truth, that a young Syrian refugee was struggling to fit into his new environment, was problematic. His allegedly abusive and violent conduct towards teachers and children was allowed to run unchecked. Why? Did the school authorities turn a blind eye rather than be accused of victimising the boy, of being racist towards him? They stayed silent. The truth may have triggered accusations of racism or sparked discussion about immigration policies. The challenges of achieving the successful integration of migrants we welcome into the United Kingdom. And the need to take those challenges seriously. You see, Jamal was one of 20,000 Syrian refugees who come to the UK as part of the United Nations resettlement programme. The government could not allow their policies to be examined and the consequences and their incompetence to be exposed. And if you don't think the government is incompetent, you ain't been paying attention to anything. Priti Patel's been talking tough, really tough, on controlling our borders for years. And yet we have boatloads of illegal economic migrants being escorted across the English Channel and put into these luxury accommodation at your expense. This ineptitude does nothing for the refugees who come here legally, who we welcome into England, refugees who are trying to integrate and make a new life here. And who was the community's rage directed at? All Syrian refugees. That's who. When in fact, there are many families of Syrian refugees in the area. We're told, all of them delightful, working hard to settle and integrate into the country they can now call home. I spoke to multiple refugee families.
In the school problem, my children, no any problem.
No problems with your children? No, that's it. So you've had a good experience in the school?
I used to have 2 friends and they don't bully and they don't care where from country I come or anything.
Okay.
And when I talk English, like we was about 1 month we've been in here and I used to not to speak English very much. So they used to tell me how to speak all that thing, and now I'm in year 8 and I know to speak English and I made more friends, and now like I'm fine.
And you're fine? And no problems?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe at school. Sometimes I say to my dad, I don't want to go to school anymore. I was just crying and I didn't do nothing because I respect the school rules.
Who told Jamal to go on camera and say this? Who arranged the media tour? Who encouraged him to take legal action? He was originally going to sue the school for not looking after him and then decided to sue me instead. Who told him to put this in his statement to the High Court? You see, Jamal doesn't like to break the school rules. Here's the problem. This is his behaviour record. Almost 100 codes for bad behaviour. Truancy, verbal abuse to teachers, physical violence towards pupils, and lying. Yeah, there's plenty for lying. You see, I haven't got all of Jamal's school records. Large sections of documents I was given were blacked out. We tried to get access, but we weren't allowed. And the lawyers wrote to the court to explain they had misplaced documentation. And finally, as you can hear, the lawyers decided what they were going to allow me to see. Whilst I was preparing my defence, Jamal's lawyers decided what I could see. And this global news story wasn't an accident. It was all carefully planned. You see, the day before the video went viral, a GoFundMe page was set up for Jamal. And the video went viral the day after a criminal record check.
So they can
come
make
back on
shit
Jamal.
go viral.
Why would his lawyers do a criminal record check? Well, they had to make sure this was financially beneficial exercise, wasn't going to be derailed by an unhelpful past. 15-year-old Jamal, his record was clean, by the way. Mohammed Akanji, the jihadist lawyer of choice, was immediately on a global media blitz.
Listen, about Akanji himself, I'm after him for my own reason.
Right, okay. Nothing sinister though, is it?
Oh, fuck, no, journalistic.
Oh, journalistic, oh, that's good.
Oh, no, fucking totally journalistic. I want to get all the background on him. You reckon he was a member of that?
Yeah.
Al-Midra Haroun are a prescribed terrorist organisation. Almost 60% of terrorists in British prisons are ex-members of this organisation. They kill, they murder, they slaughter. That is the organisation that Mohammed Akanji and his brother were allegedly, according to this top mainstream Muslim British journalist, they were members of it.
How does a Syrian lad find himself working with a jihadist lawyer of choice before this video even went out? Before anyone had seen this viral video? Within 2 weeks, the lawyers had been made the beneficiaries of the GoFundMe page of £160,000. A plan to sue the school, that's put on hold. And the plan to sue moi for libel was launched. What riches had these lawyers promised Jamal and his family? School records were edited. Migration Yorkshire clamoured to make this playground fight about race and hate. They contacted the Home Office as soon as they heard about this playground fight. Yeah, the Home Office, a playground scuffle. Why are they contacting the Home Office instantly? Someone went further. You see, we had this school incident report analysed by a graphologist, someone who analyses handwriting. It appears to show that a second person with very different handwriting doctored the report to allege that Bailey had threatened to stab Jamal. Even though all the witness reports mentioned there was only one teacher there, so only one teacher could have done an incident report. So, with the careful planning of the jihadist's favourite lawyer and the enthusiastic support of some useful idiots, it was possible for the lies to go round the world twice before the truth had had a chance to put its pants on.
That's what they
I now
say.
need to mention other repercussions of what happened in
I
Oldenburg.
outrun the
I was being
truth every
sued for
time.
reporting the things that were said to me about Jamal. I had to defend myself. The judge had already ruled that I was not allowed to argue it was in the public's interest for people to hear a different perspective of Jamal. I had to prove that the information reported to me was true. That's not the kind of burden placed on Piers Morgan or Jeremy Vine. Piers can describe Bailey as vermin without being held to account. And who is behind propagating this deception and the lawsuit against me? You see, this is where we get to meet the most sinister part of the unholy alliance. All sorts of people are helping out, but leading the posse from the front is the jihadist lawyer of choice. He represented Shamina Begum. You know, the jihadi terrorist that's out in Syria? He represented, I think, Michael Adebolajo, Lee Rigby's killer. I think he's even had to change his name because he's got such a terrible track record. So this is the lawyer who's suing me and who the media celebrated that he had served me papers, even though I wasn't in the country. If you've pillaged, if you've plundered, if you've raped and you've beheaded, and you say you've done it in the name of Islam, well, these are the lawyers for you. The lawyers who stepped forward for ISIS-Bide Shamina Begum, who've been fighting to get her back into our country, who defended Michael Adebolajo, who beheaded Lee Rigby. This is Mohammed Akunji and his colleague, Farouk Bajwa, who's been banned from claiming legal aid. Yeah, banned from claiming legal aid for putting in fraudulent expense claims. Let me rewind a bit. Let's go back a few weeks. There's an important piece of background information to this.
Don't know the full ins and outs of it, but basically to inform that a group call themselves Antifa UK.
Yeah.
Heard of them?
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of haven't. And Antifa Dundee, it basically says I'm planning to hurt or possibly kill Tommy Robinson because they know where he lives and want to silence him. They've got their hands on, it says they've got hands on some AK-47s, make petrol bombs and stuff. And allegedly say they're going to put these petrol bombs through your door when he sleeps. They say they're also planning to attack a few MPs.
Now, at the heightened tensions with multiple Osman warnings, they now take back the radar phone, the one option we have to go direct to the police, and they are removing it at this current moment.
Where are you from? I'm from the counter-terrorism policing unit that Carla works with. So Carla and I work very closely together.
So look, what did you just say? Basically, the radar phone or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the phone, the emergency phone.
We'll be taking that back.
You'll be taking that back.
Yeah, those phones are
you
designed for
Are you for real? Like, so when there's a heightened threat and people have come to the house and the address has been put out where my kids are, you're then going to get the panic phone back.
It's Christmas 2018. The police come to my family's home to tell me that people in Antifa, far left violent extremist organisation, are planning to kill me and my family. See, who were the first to comment on this video? Well, Mohammed Akunji of Farouk Bajwa & Co. Of course, the jihadis' lawyers of choice, but also Mike Stutchbury, an independent journalist, an Antifa activist. So the jihadist lawyers knew Antifa were planning to kill me, then actually commented on the video of the Osman warning. You see, what happened next is interesting, although not interesting to the Solicitors Regulation Authority or the Law Society, the people who should be interested in the integrity of our lawyers.
It will be live streamed. I'm not in charge of the filming or anything like that. That's down to the guys over here. And yeah, literally nobody wanted to do this, so we thought, what mug can we find who would agree to this?
So two lawyers who know Antifa are planning to kill me seek out an Antifa extremist, hire him for one day, just one day, and send him to live stream the serving of papers to my home, my family's home. Papers which had already been served, by the way, with a gang. When my wife and children were there, when they knew I was abroad, lawyers commissioned the Antifa extremist to broadcast my home address in order, as they put it, to cause a spectacle.
The law firm or the lawyer who has been, sort of taking the lead on the Tommy case wanted to make sure, doubly sure, that A, Tommy got the letter. Actually went out two different ways, and he wanted to make a bit of a spectacle out of it. And this is all very amusing.
A group supported by Mike Stutchbury came to the home that my wife and children were in on a Sunday afternoon when I wasn't even in the country. So let's have a look at Mike Stutchbury, who calls himself a journalist, who promoted this event, who shared it and encouraged it, who found it amusing that my wife was so scared she had to ring the police. My wife has been sat down and told in her home that Antifa are planning to kill her. They're planning to kill our family and harm our family. She's been told that she may get acid in her face. Well, how do you think she felt on a Sunday afternoon whilst my children are playing outside on their bikes? To be told that Antifa were on their way to our home. Let's have a look at Mike Stutchbury, the man that sent them. Here he is self-admitting that he is part of Antifa. Here he is promoting violence against his opposition. Punch them, punch them, punch them. Here he is hoping that buses full of Antifa get shipped in to smash people's skulls in. Here he is calling for white genocide. Mike Stutchbury is an extremist. He's a far left extremist who currently is playing a victim. He encouraged people to come and he sent people and was part of an organisation that communicated together to send people to the home where my wife and children were when I wasn't there. He even crowdfunded to support them in their action.
He was looking at various people, and eventually he sort of came on to Dick Coughlin. Dick Coughlin, I can't say it properly. Who is a YouTuber who has made videos about Tommy for almost 10 years, I think. Who's a real critic. I don't know if you've checked him out, but he's a funny guy. He's sort of, got red hair. He calls, he's an ex-crackhead basically.
And who is this Antifa extremist hired to come to my kids' home? Keep watching.
Okay, folks, we're here in Salso. I'm about to, me and Murphy are about to pop off. I went up to where a number and they said, right, we'll take that from him, we'll make sure he gets it.
And later that night, the Antifa extremists hired by their lawyers had a message for me and my children.
And on that note, on that happy note, oh, by the way, Tommy, I am going to mince your kids, mate.
Let's have a look at the man that they sent. The man that you can see the Muslim lawyer handing privileged documentation, giving this man my children's home address.
The lawyer in this case was a guy called Mohammed Sanimi Akundra, who works for a solicitors in London called, I shit you not, Farouk Bajwa and Co. Solicitors of London. I get asked by this guy that they've decided that they're going to, Tommy Robinson is going to be served legal papers so he can be sued by this family. And they asked me, do I want to be the one to go along to serve the legal documents?
Let's have a look at who Dick Coughlin is. Let's look at some of the things he said. Here he is promoting hatred against black people. Serious, this is a crime. The comments he makes are a crime. Here he is promoting hatred against Pakistanis. Here he is singing a song promoting anti-Semitism, singing a song about lampshades being made out of Jewish people's skin from the Holocaust.
Third right, yeah, we're gonna kill a kite. We're white, far right, and we're gonna have a fight. You in the Auschwitz, you can go in the gas chamber, then we'll throw you in the pit. We're just following orders, man. We're trying to get paid. You might get out of here, but you'll be a lampshade.
A self-confessed racist, anti-Semitic crackhead was sent to my children's property. He talked about raping my wife in her skull socket. He talked about my children being fed through a meat grinder. He talked about burning my house down whilst masturbating with my family in it. Now, other than to terrorise my wife and children, why would any sane person do this? It worked, okay? Tipped off by a friend who saw the gang on live stream approaching, my ex-wife hit the panic button and barricaded herself and our children in a bedroom. The police thankfully responded in time. And these are exactly the same tactics being used against the unbelievably courageous children in Almonbury. Threats of violence and rape against children who are willing to stand with me in defence of the truth at the High Court of London. The video release, media, GoFundMe, Antifa, it all happened at the same time. It was coordinated.
That shit's fucking crazy, ain't it? How long before this shit hits the United States? I bet it's already
And it was
happening.
about hate
I bet
and
it's
making
already
money.
happening.
And how that far left activist, who appears to be an anti-Semitic, Jew-hating, black-hating racist, came to my home with his gang and threatened to kill my children. These lawyers, the mainstream media, they don't care about refugees. They don't care about Jamal. They don't care about the truth.
So that bloke who made the video saying he's going to kill the kids. Can you, if you didn't do it, I know 100%. Give a statement. I know I was there.
Okay.
Give a statement about that. She complained about it. She contacted. Will remember. It would have been the liaison officer at the time to ask if he was arrested. I found out his address and I gave you all the information for him. So even now, say now, looking at that, can he be arrested now then?
I don't know what happened with the previous report because when we search on our system that we currently use,
He probably got buried.
I can't see any crime report that was linked to it.
You see, the next day, knowing I'd been provoked with threats against my ex-wife and my children, no doubt thinking they would be conspiring to commit violence and lock me up on a conspiracy charge. Here, outside my ex-wife's house, men in a car that has never been registered, check the registration plate. So presumably from the security services, with listening devices recording what's being said in my home. The involvement of the security services may explain why Dick Coughlin, the man who publicly threatened to murder my children, has never even been spoken to or arrested, despite my wife's complaints.
What are you doing? Show me who's in the back of your car.
There's no one in the back of the car.
So what are you doing then?
We're not here, anything to do with you.
What are you doing then?
What do you think we're doing?
I think you're starting doing me.
No.
Who's yours work for? So what are you doing? And there is someone in the back. I know there's someone in the back. So what are you doing here? I don't know who you are. So what are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. You tell me what you're doing then. Because essentially I've got threats against me. I know you. Yeah? So what are you doing here? If I turn it off, you can tell me what you're doing. Who's in the back of your car? Who's in the back of your car? You're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. I'm not moving. Let me see who's in the back of your car. Tell me what you're doing in
Yeah,
March.
here's the problem, Copper Top. If he
I don't know what
loses
you're doing,
the
but that's all I
fucking
wanna know.
primaries and they impeach him, then what? Then what? And these stupid ass Americans don't even see what the fuck's going on.
I've got police officers sat with a recording in a recording van. In the back of this van is a recording station. I'm not standing. You're not going. No, because what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. They're sat in the back of their van. This is recording devices. The whole of this back thing, because he just opened it up when I got him out. The whole of this back thing is recording where they're pointing there because what this is has been a setup. These people are these police officers setting me up. They're setting me up. It's a setup. They're setting me up by sending people to my house because they think I'm going to react and do something, and they're recording it with listening devices.
We checked the vehicle registration plate outside the house on the government website, and there's no such vehicle.
Let's not forget the politicians, our fearless leaders. It was only when I went alone to the home of self-declared journalist Mike Stutchby to ask him why he had done what he had and why he thought it was funny to intimidate my children.
No, they don't, dude.
Some of you may have seen.
Look, the United States used to be one of the strongest countries in the world as far as having real men here. And I've said this before. They have used this internet and fucked with people's minds so much that you got men cutting their dicks off thinking that they're women. And it's to do it so they won't stand up and fight. They can just come in and take over. They know what the fuck they're doing. They know the games that they're playing. And unfortunately, the public doesn't see it. They're following right along with it.
That people have been outside my home.
I mean, why in the fuck would they be castrating our kids and getting them, you know, make it legal for the school to step in and get them to have fucking surgeries and shit? Do you know what would happen if you denied your kid medical access, right? and you say you was religious or whatever, and your kid needed a kidney, and you didn't take them down there to do it, they would lock you up. But yet they can take them and fucking use them as this shit pisses me off.
5 men come to my home. I'm on my own. I've had to move my children who are scared and upset.
Oh
And
yeah, no
people
shit.
encourage
Sour
people
poison.
to participate in coming to my address. One of those people who...
It was only then that the fearless then deputy leader of the Labour Party, Tom Watson, steps forwards, ignoring reality completely.
Every major social media platform other than YouTube has taken down Stephen Yaxley Lennon's profile because of his hateful conduct. Late on Monday night, Yaxley Lennon turned up at a journalist's home, banging on the doors and windows, demanding to be let in. And after being escorted away by the police, he returned at 5 a.m. and continued his intimidation. The incident was live streamed. He later warned journalists in a YouTube video to expect a knock at the door. Does the Secretary of State think that it's right that YouTube and the parent company Alphabet continues to give this man a platform?
His real name.
It'd be funny, no, if it wasn't so insidious. The hardly honourable Mr. Watson totally misrepresented what had happened, and from behind his shield of parliamentary privilege, bravely declared that I'd been terrorising a journalist. Journalist? Sturchbury's an Antifa activist who incites violence and wants to kill white people. Terrorising. Was I terrorising? Mr. Watson bravely demanded that I be removed from YouTube. YouTube had only recently confirmed that none, not one, of my videos had broken any of their stringent guidelines. And my videos hadn't broken any laws. It was clear I hadn't harassed anyone, certainly not Mike Sturchbury, if indeed he is a journalist. But none of that mattered. My wife and children left their family home that night. They never went back. In fact, having their lives endangered by the jihadist lawyers. See, my wife started legal action against Mohammed Akunji and Farouk Bajwa's firm. But Mo & Co, Mohammed Akunji and Farouk Bajwa, see, they weren't so keen on facing the law as they were on abusing the law to persecute others for financial, ideological reasons. On the 31st of March 2019, they promptly collapsed their law firm. They'll never be involved in the case. That's what they said. And Dr. Farouk Bajwa, well, he's no longer going to be a lawyer. He'll be living in Pakistan. That's it. That's what they said. That's how easy it was for Mo & Co to escape justice. Interestingly, they're still signing documents on the case on the 6th of June, months after saying they're not involved. Several other law firms have reported them to the Law Society, the body that is supposed to make sure lawyers behave ethically. Nothing's been done. I wonder why. In fact, all the lawyers working at Farouk Bajwa & Co just moved across to a new law firm called Burlington's. And guess what? Yeah, Burlington's took on Jamal's case against me. Farouk Bajwa now works for Burlington's. Farouk Bajwa's son now works for Burlington's. Farouk Bajwa is Burlington's GDPR expert. Pretty ironic, no? Farouk Bajwa & Co leaked my children's address to an Antifa activist to put it online for everyone. And if we've been stupid enough to expect more ethical behaviour from Burlington's than from Farouk Bajwa and Mohammed Akunji, well, we'd have been disappointed.
How come Farouk Bajwa signed a form 3 months after he left them to do this case?
It's absolutely. It was if that was the case, it was before I gave the undertaking, and he wasn't involved in this case at all.
He signed a form dated June. In June, he signed a form, and the date on that form that he signed is June. He left this case in March, apparently. How come?
Well, if you send it through to me, I'll have a look and I'll give you an explanation as to why. I'm not quite sure what form you're talking about.
Oh, you'll see it on my documentary. Okay, so when you send me what you decide is relevant, yeah, how am I going to know what you've cut out?
Well, I suppose you would.
Then 2 days ago, Mohammed Akunji doxed my mother and father's house. Last night, that house at 1 o'clock in the morning was smashed to pieces with bricks through the windows. Yeah, this is all going on in the background of it. I've been trying to get my stuff ready, but just so that you're aware of what's going on as to why I don't trust a word you say. When you have Farouk Bajwa's son working for your company, and Farouk Bajwa is the man that sent people to threaten to kill my children, I'm wondering why in the last 48 hours or last 72 hours, since I disclosed information to you, why my family and loved ones have become under persecuted harm, of which is all detailed with police records and video footage of everything that's been going on. So, and you've covered up things which, and Luke, Francesca told me, I have a recording of her telling me that Burlington's did not redact anything. Yet in court, you had to admit you did. I've got the recording of her telling me it. Everything was redacted prior to coming to you. And then in court, you sit and admit that you have been redacting things. So forgive me, it's just lie after lie.
This is Burlington's lawyers losing documents that they're supposed to send to me and deleting things that they don't want me to see. Misplaced. How do you misplace documents that were electronically filed on their case management system at Farouk Bajwa & Co, then passed over to Burlington's? So now he knows that it's going to land on his lap, the whole lie that they've told, and this is the actions they use. Can't play the man, so they play the kids and the family. You don't need to be scared, Sonia, because they're doing this.
They just called me and said goodbye.
Yeah, I know, babe, but they're purposely just doing that.
I got my number.
But when they're doing this, they're just doing this to try and cause me shit and make you worry. So I know it's easier said, but you don't need to worry, yeah? They're doing this so that I don't beat them in court. That's why they're doing this, yeah?
Do you think they do know where we live?
No, mate.
Danny Barker rang me saying if anyone turns up to the house, just ring him and he'll come in a minute.
Yeah, he will, mate. Yeah, it's Miller. Oh, mate.
Alright, cool.
The mad thing is, the whole time this goes on, the media and all of them act like we're the bad guys. That we've been, like I'm the one persecuting people or targeting them. And they're such cowards. They're such cowards, man. I just got a phone call and they said goodbye. I'm so scared. I've told the police, but I'm so scared.
Hello?
Jenna, who's just rung Spencer?
We don't know at the minute.
What are the police saying?
I'm just making a statement.
Okay, but just quickly, are they getting that account? Let's put a picture of you online. Who showed you that picture, Jenna?
It's on Twitter.
Yeah, who
I saw
found
it myself.
You saw it yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Are the police sorting out to get rid of it?
Yeah, they've taken the address of the Twitter person that's put it out.
If you can say, I've given them 50 addresses of people who have done exactly this over the years, including the redhead man. What about the redhead bloke who threatened to kill the kids? What have they said about that?
Well, nothing really.
No, it's a crime. Do you know what I mean? If I make a video threatening to kill some kids, I'll be arrested. So the point, what you need to ask them specifically and say to them, you made a complaint, someone threatened to murder your children, you had to leave your home, yeah? Those threats have now followed you to where you're now living, yeah? And they're coming from the same people, the same organisations, the same people they done fuck all about last time. They didn't nick them, they didn't speak to them, the solicitor's still acting with impunity, doing it to my mum and dad yesterday. So you need to specifically ask them, Jen, I want to answer out of them, when you made a complaint against Richard Coughlin, Dick Coughlin last year, why have they not done anything? And get you a follow-up and an answer as to why they haven't done anything, if you can.
Right.
And are the kids all right?
Am I right that you managed to track the number?
Yeah.
So you know who made those phone calls to her?
We know where the number came from,
Yep.
and who that phone was registered to. So that's what, obviously, we cannot prove. Well, I at that time, I wasn't able to prove who. I only could say where the number came from.
As in whose phone it is?
Who the phone is registered to.
Okay. Because obviously for me, this was threatening phone calls a week before a High Court trial, trying to pervert the course of justice. How come no one's been arrested?
I can't see anything on the crime report.
If I send you evidence, which I'm going to anyway, because it's all going to the judge, if I send you evidence of Mohammed Akunji doxing my mum and dad's address, if I send you evidence of criminal damage and attacks in the middle of the night at an old pensioner's home, and I show you evidence of pictures of my wife being put on, ex-wife being put online, and my son, they rang my 11-year-old son's phone. The police were all involved. They've been threatening my 11-year-old son. Yeah, this is what's gone on. If I send you evidence of that, do you think you'll support an anonymity order to protect the children in this case?
Stephen, I can't, answer that because I don't have instructions to answer that. I don't have conduct in the matter.
Unfortunately, in terms of integrity, Burlingtons don't appear to be any better than Farouk Bajwa and Mohammed Akunji.
Hey, Bulldog, thank you for recommending this book.
You see, I was told he'd violently attacked a girl. I was told he'd attacked someone as part of a gang. And I was told he'd threatened to stab someone. In fact, Jamal had violently attacked more than one girl. And we presented the evidence to the court, including the testimony of courageous children who came to court. These children weren't Tommy Robinson fans, but they came to the High Court to speak the truth.
So let me just look at one of the pupils that come to court and testified. This young girl wasn't a supporter of mine, didn't support my politics, but she still came to court and testified. Let me have a look at her school record and read what her teacher says about her. Charlie is a very mature and hardworking member of the Forum. She has been an absolute pleasure to have in the Forum. She has represented the Forum in the school council and in various events across the school throughout the school year. She represents all that is positive and excited about studying law.
Down in your area.
Charlie is now currently studying law at university. Why would this girl lie, randomly lie, before I was involved? Why would she then travel to the High Court of London and commit perjury? Because that is what the judge has found, that she's made it all up. And Jamal, the Syrian refugee, the one with multiple lies in his school records and behavioural disciplinaries everywhere, well, he was telling the truth. That is what he found in this case.
Why would a mother post images and send me those images of her daughter beaten black and blue? Why? For what reason? Why would the staff lie? Why would the head teacher lie? Why would every single person who was recorded covertly lie about what Jamal was like? 12 different people lying about what Jamal was like. Why? You see, the judge has really helped us out here. The judge says people can lie for reasons that make no sense. Sometimes for no reason at all. He could not readily identify any explanation for why some of these people were prepared to do so and lie. He concludes the alleged assaults, they never happened at all. Despite Jamal's school record, which you've seen, the judge states the claimant's record is overwhelmingly positive. He acknowledged Jamal has a record of lying, but decides on this occasion it is Jamal who's telling the truth, and everyone else is lying. Really? We waited 10 weeks for this? That's your conclusion? That's the logic from the highest libel judge in our land? There was no jury. That's right, there's no jury. All of these people were lying. But Jamal, he was telling the truth. Jamal, who could only find his dad, Jihad, to speak for him. Not a single teacher, not a classmate, not a friend, not a neighbour or a support worker came to court to support Jamal's version of events. Jamal, who says he only broke the rules a few times at school, and even then, it weren't his fault. His school record suggests something very different. I want to be clear and fair to Jamal. He denies every accusation against him, completely and utterly. On the day the 5 courageous children appeared in the dock, giving testimony against Jamal. Jamal didn't even show up in court that day to face his accusers. Neither did the press. The press actually left court when the witnesses stood up to give their evidence in my defence. It's alarming to think we have this kind of intellect at the top of our judiciary. The story of these 2 children is actually a story about free speech, or the death of it. It's a story about how the mainstream media is more interested in pushing an agenda than giving you balance and truth. How it continues, despite Leveson, to act with impunity. Is the media held to account for what they report? Have Piers Morgan or Jeremy Vine been held to account? No. It's a story about how the law is being manipulated and exploited by the far left and Islamists to destroy the lives of anyone who speaks out against the accepted so-called progressive, so-called liberal narrative. Or about the poisonous influence of Islam's Sharia law in our society. Is the law fit for purpose? No. And it's a story about our government and judiciary's disdain for free speech and the truth, and the lengths that they will go to in order to silence dissent, especially with its new and increasing powers. Is our government being held accountable for its actions? No. Is the judiciary independent of political influence? You've seen all the evidence. You decide. Whether you agree with my politics is irrelevant. When dissent is crushed, free speech dies, and governments move one step closer to tyranny. The lawyers know the truth. Even Jamal's father, Jihad, he knows the truth about his son. They all knew the truth and were using Jamal to further their agenda, regardless of the consequences for Jamal. They continued to pursue the case, which incidentally has caused my divorce and bankruptcy. My ex-wife had to choose between her marriage to me and the safety of our children. I'm glad she chose our children. We're still best mates. You see, Jamal's lawyers told me very early on, if I apologised and paid them 50 grand, they'd drop their case. If you're watching this, you know the decision I made. I won't apologise for reporting what I was told, for what I believe to be true, for standing up for Bailey, a young lad unjustly vilified by pretty much everyone. But in silencing dissent, are the media and our government any different to the governments they criticise so much? China, Russia, Iran, immigration, COVID, Brexit. If it doesn't fit the narrative, you will not hear the alternative view. And where else have we seen this? Where else have the media, politicians, police and social services hidden the truth for decades, fearful of being called racist? Grooming gangs. That's where a cover-up of such horrific cost to thousands of young girls in towns and cities across our country. And nowhere worse than under the stewardship of Councillor Shabir Pandor's Kirklees Council. You see, hiding the truth doesn't protect community cohesion. It does the total opposite. It undermines trust in public institutions. It stokes resentment and conflict in our communities. Tragically, those who lead us don't seem to have the moral clarity or courage to speak the truth. They cause the division that they're trying to prevent. People ask me, was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it. The truth is always worth defending. I'm still here. If you were born in the United Kingdom, you've already won the lottery of life. An inheritance from our parents and grandparents of freedom, equality under English law, and democracy. If we allow ourselves to be silenced, that inheritance is rendered worthless. What legacy will we leave for the children and grandchildren who come after us? None of us can afford to let free speech die. We cannot, and we will not, be silenced.
That's good stuff. That was something else right there. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. I'm fixing to kick it on out of here. I got a lot of stuff I need to do. We will holler at y'all later. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me for the ones that sat through all that. And we will see y'all next time. Peace.